These are the new leases you were asking about, Rena.
Oh, thanks, TJ. I'll give them back to you as soon as I look them over.
No rush.
Oh, TJ? Are we still going to have dinner tonight?
Sure, unless you want to cancel it.
Are you kidding? I wouldn't think of it. Besides, you promised to tell me your decision, or have you forgotten?
Of course not.
Have you made your decision yet? Oh, excuse me. Hello? Oh, yes, of course I'll talk to her.
I'll see you later.
Bye. Hi, Ginny. I'm glad you called.
Hi, Rena. Didn't you get my message?
I did, honey, but it's been so hectic around here I didn't have time to call you back. Is something wrong there?
Yes, it's Lurleen.
Lurleen? Oh, no. Has something happened to her?
Well, not exactly. Bubba has just escaped from the hospital.
Escaped?
And we're really afraid that he might try to get at Lurleen again.
Well, where is she?
Well, she's here on the ranch with Kate and me, but she's very upset. We're just trying to calm her down.
But doesn't she realize that she's going to be all right as long as you're with her?
Oh, of course. But Bubba isn't the only thing that's upsetting her.
What are you talking about?
Lurleen's grandfather has disappeared, and we can't find him anywhere.
Ginny, I'm coming out there.
No, you don't have to do that, Rena.
Yes, I do. I would feel better if I heard what was going on firsthand.
Rena...
No arguments. Now, I'll see you in a little while. Bye. Ricky, it's Rena. I need your help.
Honey, I wish you'd eat something.
I'm really not hungry, Miss Kate.
You barely touched your supper last night.
I can't eat anything. I'm too worried about Granddaddy.
I know, honey, but I don't think there's really anything for you to worry about. You know he's gone wandering off like this for days before. He always comes back.
But it isn't the same this time, Miss Kate.
Why isn't it?
Well, Granddaddy's never left money laying around the house like that. Those were all $100 bills we found there. I don't even know where he could have gotten that kind of money.
Honey, I know it seems mysterious, but we'll find out about it real soon. Now, you just eat something and stop worrying, please.
I don't think it'd do any good. My stomach's not up to it.
Mrs. Marshall?
Yes?
My name's Brent Wheeler.
Grant Wheeler's daughter.
Yes.
Come in.
Thank you.
Ryan told us you were in Colorado.
I was, but I left my job there and I came here to Houston. I was fired.
Well, at least you're honest. Well, I'm very glad to see you. Ryan has talked a lot about you.
Oh, he's on my payroll.
Well, you couldn't pay him enough for all the nice things he said about you. Oh, Brett, this is Lurleen Harper. She's staying with us. Lurleen, this is Ryan's cousin, Brett.
Hi, Lurleen.
Hi.
I guess you know I'm a geologist. Would you mind if I poked around on your ranch? Hello?
Ashley, it's TJ.
What do you want, TJ?
I want to see you.
I'm very busy.
It's important, Ashley.
Is it?
Look, I can't talk over the phone.
Now, TJ, what can be so important that you can't tell me over the phone?
I need to see you, Ashley. Now, you said you would yesterday when we talked.
I would have told you anything yesterday to get you off that phone.
I have to see you. You won't regret it.
Is that so?
I've got a proposition for you.
What kind of proposition?
I'll tell you when we get together.
Okay. Meet me in my office in 1 hour. Justin, are you all right?
I'm fine. Fine.
Are you sure?
I've got a headache. I'll get over it.
Sweetheart, you want me to get you some aspirin?
No, that would just upset my stomach. I don't want that, too.
There's something else on your mind, isn't there?
What do you mean, Ashley?
Well, now, you've been a little short with me all morning.
I told you I've got a headache.
Don't you think that I know you well enough to know when there's something bothering you? Why don't you just get it out in the open so we can talk about it?
Really want to know, Ashley?
Yes.
It's that telephone call you got from TJ last night.
Justin, I told you there was nothing to it. He just called to see if you were all right.
I don't like him calling you. He's after you, I can tell.
Justin, you're wrong. He's just trying to make up for something that happened in college.
What happened in college?
Oh, he was a big man on campus. You know, I was the underling. I think he was attracted to me, but he was a snob. He wouldn't give me the time of day.
Now he's trying to make up for it.
That's right.
How?
Just by being friendly.
How friendly?
Now, Justin, it's not what you think. He's just trying to be a friend. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
You don't?
No. Hey, what could be wrong with having a friend who works for a major competitor?
Just that kind of a friend could cut all our throats, and I don't want him hanging around you.
You're jealous.
You're damn right I'm jealous. If he hangs around you one more time, I'm going to break his neck, Ashley.
Justin. Mwah. That won't happen. Well, I've got a lot of work to do. I've got to go to my office.
Ashley, I mean what I say about TJ.
I know you do, dear.
Are you really a geologist?
Yes.
Well, I thought that was a man's job.
A lot of men think that, too.
That's what you were doing in Colorado, wasn't it?
Yes, I was working for a mining company there until we had a parting of the way.
You said you got fired.
I did. They were going to ruin some beautiful land. They didn't have to, but it would have cut into their profits if they didn't. I told them, and they showed me the gate.
And now you're going to be working for your father at World Oil.
Maybe, maybe not.
Well, I know he'll be very happy if you decide to.
Hi.
Oh, Ginny! This is Ryan's cousin, Brett.
Oh, what a pleasure to meet you, Brett. Ryan said so many nice things about you.
Have to give him a raise.
I'm sorry he couldn't be here to see you. He's in Venezuela for the company right
Oh, I
now.
know. Dad told me.
He calls every day. He'll be happy to know you're here.
I don't know how long I'll be staying, but I sure like it here.
Brett's a geologist. She's going to be working for World Oil.
Maybe. Dad's asked me to think about it.
She wants to take a look around the ranch.
Oh, I didn't think World Oil could
Oh,
do...
it's not for World Oil. I'm doing it for me.
Feel free to look wherever you want to.
You're not going to do it by yourself, are you?
Sure, why not?
Lurlene's a little skitterish about things. She's had something happen to her lately.
Well, a man tried to rape me. Now, he's escaped from the hospital, and he could be coming back here.
Lurleen, I don't think Bubba will be dumb enough to show his face around here. But we have to be cautious all the same.
Well, I can take care of myself, Mrs. Marshall. You should see how fast I can run.
You don't know Bubba. He's as mean as the devil.
Oh, I'll be careful. And I'll stop in and see you before I leave.
Oh, please do. We'd appreciate that.
Oh, by the way, do you have any suggestions where I might start?
Well, if you go due south, you'll find an old path that'll take you through some of the most interesting parts of the ranch.
Thanks. How far does it go?
Well, it'll take you on up to the property line.
Good. Well, see you in a little while.
All right, good. We don't want to have to worry about you, too.
Nice meeting you, Ginny. I'm sure we'll be seeing each other again.
I hope so.
Bye-bye, Lurleen.
Bye. She's nice.
Yes, she is. Did you get in touch with Rena?
Yes, as a matter of fact, she's on her way out here right now.
Oh, I hope she's not coming out here just because of me. This is embarrassing, all the attention I've been getting.
Now, Lurleen, you're not to worry about a thing like that. You hear?
I just hope that Miss Rena can think of where my granddaddy could be.
Well, I've just been away on business for a few days.
Right, everything's fine. Everything here at Marshall Oil is on schedule. Well, thank you. Yeah, I think I pulled a real coup with that one. Billy Joe Wright is very popular in these parts. I think he is the perfect person to represent Ace High gas station. Yes, well, thank you very much. Well, it'll be a pleasure seeing you again. Bye-bye now. What is it, Karen?
You have to sign these papers. You're going to need a lot more than Billy Joe Wright for those service stations of yours.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I get my gas in one of them. Every time I put Ace High gas in my old clunker, it runs like a broken-down washing machine.
Karen, you just keep putting Ace High gas in your car. We're going to make a lot of changes around here. That old clunker of yours is going to be purring like a kitten. Here you are.
All right. Mr. Marshall's office? Yes, he is. May I ask who's calling? Hello? Hello?
Who is it?
I don't know. He hung up.
Sorry, Miss Kate, it just slipped through my hands.
That's all right, honey. It's just a bowl.
I feel all shaky inside.
Listen, why don't you go sit down for a while, okay? Relax.
But I wanted to help you.
It's all right, honey. You don't have to help us. We can do it.
Oh, Miss Kate, I just wish this thing weren't getting to me the way it is.
Listen, Elaine, you have every right to feel exactly the way you are.
I just hate coming here and disrupting everything. I mean, you have your own lives to worry about.
Now, I don't want to hear any more of that nonsense, Lurleen. We've told you that you're a part of the family, and we mean it.
Thank you, Miss Kate. You certainly made me feel like one of the family.
All right, then, get upstairs and lie down for a while and relax, okay? We can take care of things.
I think I better before I break something else.
I'm really worried about her.
So am I. But I didn't want to show it in front of her. You know, there's something else that worries me.
What's that, Kate?
All that money we found up at the place. I just can't figure out how that old man got it.
Sorry.
Rena, I'm so glad you're here.
Hi, Ricky. What are you doing here?
I asked Ricky to come out with me.
Oh, you didn't have to do that, Rena.
No, I'm glad she did, Kate. After what she told me's been going on out here, I wanted to come out and see for myself that everything was okay.
Listen, I've asked Ricky to stay out here for a while. With Ryan out of town, I'd feel a whole lot better about things.
Well, that's not necessary. We can take care of ourselves.
Well, I'm sure you can, Kate, but I'd feel a lot better about it, too, if you'd let me stay.
Well, you don't have to twist my arm, Ricky. It'll be a lot safer with a man around
Oh,
here.
good. Then that's settled, huh? How's Lurleen doing?
She's still pretty upset, poor dear.
Any word on Bubba's whereabouts?
Nothing yet.
Well, Bubba's the least of her worries right now.
Are you talking about her grandfather being missing?
Well, he disappeared several days ago, and nobody's seen him.
But that's happened before, Kate, hasn't it?
Well, yes, but... Well, this time there's something else.
What do you mean?
Well, when we heard about Bubba, we went up to the Harper place to get Lurleen, and we found money tucked in a drawer.
Money? What?
Yeah. $100 bills.
$100 bills?
That's right. 5, 6 of them.
Where do you get that kind of money?
Well, we don't know. That's what's so peculiar. You know, he hadn't even paid the telephone bill. That's why it seemed kind of fishy to us.
Kate, would it be all right if I went over and talked to Lurleen?
Yes, she just went upstairs. I'll take you up.
Okay.
Thanks for bringing Ricky out here, Rena.
Oh, honey, that's the least I can do. I wish I could stay out here myself, but I got to get back into town. I have a very important dinner engagement tonight.
Business?
Oh, you might say it was business. Yeah, it's with TJ.
TJ?
I know it's very funny, especially after what happened at Mother's dinner party of the night. But I've got to keep this date. TJ is very important to World Oil, and I've got to work with him. And I am determined to get along with that man.
Mm-hmm. So this is all in the call of duty.
And that's all it is, honey. A duty. Yes, Karen. Oh, he is? Okay, send him right in.
Nice office, Ashley. How's it going?
Busy. Very busy. Too busy for idle chit-chat. You want to get to the point?
It's important to both of us.
Is it? Better be. Because if Justin Marshall walks through that door and finds you in this office, he's going to want to break your neck. So what is it?
I want to prove I was serious about making amends.
And how can you do that?
By making a deal.
A deal? What kind of deal?
If you're interested, I'm willing to leave Stryker's law firm and World Oil and come to work here. I'll bring my oil leases with me.
Is this your idea of a joke, TJ?
No.
Because if it is, forget it. Now, I've just been through hell with Justin, and I love him, and I intend on keeping him, and I don't want you messing in my life.
I meant what I just said about making amends.
Sit down. Are you and Stryker on the outs?
Let's just say there have been a couple of decisions that I don't particularly agree with.
And you're ready to bail out of World Oil, and you think this is a good place to come?
Could be good for both of us.
Yeah. You could be very useful to us. But why didn't you just come out and say what was on your mind from the beginning? Why did you go through all this make amends business? I'm not 18 anymore, TJ.
Then you talk to Justin about it?
That's not going to be easy.
It'll be a lot more difficult if Justin finds out that I've made this offer and you haven't bothered to tell him about it. Justin and Marshall Oil need me, Ashley, and you know it.
Let me think about it.
All right. Don't take too long. There are a lot of other oil companies out there. But I'd rather work with you. I look forward to hearing from you soon.
Justin? Well, I'm glad to see that you're back among the land of the living.
Barely.
I was relieved to hear you were okay.
Well, how'd you find that out, Paige?
Doesn't really matter, does it? You own an oil company, word gets round.
Well, was there anything in the newspapers about my binge?
No, just the pictures taken the day of the party.
Oh. That's all?
That's all.
Damn, Raina.
So, how are you feeling?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
It's quite a rampage you went on, brother dear.
Yeah, I just put you through the whole thing, didn't I?
Don't worry about it. I just let it roll off.
Paige, I'm very sorry about the things I said to you. I didn't mean any of them.
Well, you don't need to apologize. I knew you were upset.
I'm happy to see that you're taking it like this. I want us to be close again. I'd hate to think that anything that I said would jeopardize us.
We're going to be okay, aren't we, Jess?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, have you worked everything out with Ashley?
Yes. And I think I've learned something from this whole incident.
What's that?
How much I love her. I don't want to lose her, Paige.
I'm glad to hear that, Jess. I know how much she loves you. She was just crazy when you were missing.
Well, that's all behind us now.
Good.
Ashley and I are going to concentrate on making Marshall Oil very, very big. And you know what else?
What?
We're already well on our way, Paige.
Darlene!
Yes, Miss Kay.
Someone here to see you.
Be right there.
I'd better get back to my cooking.
Oh, yeah, go on ahead. I wouldn't want to keep you from that, Kate.
Ricky!
Hi, Lurleen.
Well, what are you doing here?
Well, I knew that Ryan was away for a while, and you three ladies were out here all by yourselves, so I thought I'd come out and spend a little time with you.
That's very thoughtful of you.
We're all concerned about you, Lurleen.
I know. And I appreciate everything everybody's doing for me. But I can't be doing this always, you know?
Doing what?
Well, having people protect me, take care of me. I've got to get a hold of my own life now.
Well, you will. There's no rush. Nobody blames you for taking a little time to do that. You've been through a lot.
Yes, I have, haven't I? And I was just getting things together. At least I thought so. I was out on my own, trying to find a job. And all of a sudden, this happened with Bubba breaking loose, and then my granddaddy has wandered off to who knows where again.
Yeah, well, don't you worry about Bubba. They're going to catch him real soon. Then you'll be able to get your life back to normal.
I don't even know what normal is anymore.
Ah, you're going to be okay.
You know, I just wish I were like other women. More positive.
Like what other women?
Well, like Rena. Or like Grant Wheeler's daughter.
Oh, you, Lacey?
Oh, no, Brett. I just met her here this afternoon. She's out here looking around the ranch. I wish I could be more like her. She's young, and you know what she is? A geologist. That's what I'd like to do.
Oh, you want to be a geologist?
Oh, no, I'd never do something like that. I mean, I just would like to take charge of my life like Brett.
Yeah, she's definitely in charge of her life.
Did Rena say why she couldn't stay?
Yeah, she said to apologize to you, too. She was having dinner with T.J. Canfield tonight.
Oh, I thought she was on the outs with him.
Well, that's what I thought. But that's exactly why she's having dinner with him. She has to work with him at World Oil, so she wanted to patch up their differences.
Well, it was very thoughtful of her to bring Ricky out here.
Yes, it was. You know, I feel much more comfortable having him out here, especially with Bubba on the loose.
With all these great smells coming out of the kitchen, Kate, you're going to have a hard time keeping me out of here. I always swore you were the best Texas cook.
You were always a great flatterer, Ricky.
It's not flattering, Kate. You are the best.
I hope you're hungry. I got enough food here to feed a small army.
Yeah, well, I feel like eating for a small army, so that's okay.
Yeah. Well, we've got your favorite dessert.
Ooh, apple pie?
Yeah, get out of there. And we got ice cream, too. Can you handle that?
Well, you're going to have to pry me away from the table. Lurleen was telling me that Brett Wheeler came out to the ranch.
Well, yes, she came out to look around.
For World Oil?
No, she's not working for World Oil yet. No, she just wanted to see the place.
Ricky, have you met Brett?
Yeah, she came up to the top of the World Club one night.
Don't you think she's an impressive young woman?
Yeah, I suppose.
Well, I certainly was impressed with her. She must be very bright. I mean, she's a geologist. You have to be pretty smart to do that.
Honey, there's a very good example there for you.
What do you mean?
Well, it's just that if you want to do anything at all you have to do is set your mind to it, and you can learn.
That's exactly what I was telling her.
Mrs. Marshall.
Good heavens, Brent, you're as white as a sheet. What happened?
Out there, a man.
It's Bubba. I know it's Bubba. He's come back for me.
Did he hurt you?
Easy.
No, on the trail. He's dead.
Brent, I want you to show me where he is.
I'm gonna go with you, Kate. Come on.
Jenny, you stay here with Lurleen.
Okay.
Hi.
Well, hello.
I hope I'm not interrupting.
No, come in here. Sit down.
Hi. I just thought I'd drop by and see how you were.
Well, I'm glad you did.
I just talked to Justin.
Oh, Paige. I was going to call you today, I promise. It's just been so hectic since I picked him up yesterday.
It's all right. I understand. But how did you finally find him?
Oh, I didn't. Iris did.
Iris?
Oh, yeah. Her good friend, the police commissioner, called up and said that Justin had landed in jail in Kemah. It's okay. She fixed everything. She even convinced him that he ought to make up with me.
Iris never ceases to amaze me, Ashley.
Well, I'm grateful to her on this one, Paige.
Yeah, well, we're all grateful. Justin seems so pleased about your reconciliation. You must be overjoyed.
Yeah, I am.
That wasn't exactly a positive response, Ashley. Is everything all right?
Yes, it's just, I had something about the business on my mind.
Oh, well, you had me worried there for a minute. I thought you still had a problem.
No, I don't have a problem. But I want to tell you how much I appreciate your concern and your help through all this. Sure feels good to have a friend on my side.
Well, I feel the same way about you, hon. Well, I know you're busy, so I won't take any more of your time.
Oh, listen, I'm just glad that you came by. And I want us to have lunch real soon.
Oh, I'd love it. I'll talk to you soon then,
Okay,
all right?
good.
Oh, and I hope that business problem works itself out.
I do too.
Bye.
Bye.
I'll have to.
One way or another.
Here you go, honey. Try to drink this. It'll help relax you.
What's taking them so long, Jenny?
Well, they haven't been gone that long.
It's been an hour since they left.
You know how long it takes to walk down to that trail. I'm sure they'll be back as soon as they can. Come on, drink your tea.
I'm just so worried.
I know you are. But we've just got to...
Miss Kay.
Jenny, go in the living room and call the sheriff. Ask him to get out here.
What is it?
Call the sheriff.
Okay.
Miss Kay.
I'm so sorry, honey. It was your granddaddy.
Granddaddy.
You can go ahead and cry.
Bubba did it. Bubba killed my granddaddy, didn't he?
No, it looked like a heart attack. Honey, he was on his way home from Marshall Village.
Oh, he always used that path when he came home from the saloon. I kept telling him he was getting too old to walk that far, but he wouldn't listen to me.
Honey, you know, he was a stubborn, lovable old man. No matter what you or I or anybody would have said to him, he'd have done exactly as he wanted.
I want to go see him, Miss Kay. Can I go down there?
No, Brett and Ricky are with him, and the sheriff is coming. You better wait until they bring him here.
That crazy old man. Why did he have to go and leave me all by myself?
Oh, honey. Now, you'll never be alone as long as the Marshall family are around.
I'm going to miss my granddaddy so much, Miss Kay.
I know that, honey. I know.
Everything everything is just fine where Marshall Oil is concerned. Oh, yeah, we're doing very well. We're on very solid ground right now. Oh, yeah, and things are going to get better. Bigger and better. Okay. Listen, it's nice talking to you. I look forward to seeing you again. Bye-bye. Well, my darling, I have taken care of my little outburst at the party so that no one will even give it a second thought.
I'm glad. You have anything else you have to do?
Well, no, nothing that can't wait until tomorrow. Why, what you got on your mind?
Nothing. I just thought that, you've been working real hard. You had a long night, and you've had a very long day. I think you should stop working.
Well, so have you, Mrs. Marshall. Is there something you wanted to talk to me about?
No, not really.
Oh.
Paige came to see me today.
Well, she came to see me, too.
Isn't that nice of her? She really seemed concerned.
Oh, yes, really nice.
I like her a lot.
Well, I'm glad you two are friends. Oh, listen, why don't I just clear my desk and take you out to a real nice restaurant? Would you like that?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Good. You just stay right here. Give me a few minutes.
I think I'll go on back to my office and get my purse, okay? Justin.
What?
Did you really mean what you said on the phone a minute ago?
What's that?
About Marshall Oil being on solid ground.
Well, it's as solid as I can make it right now. Of course, there's more money going out that's coming in, but that's to be expected, Ashley, when you're just starting out. We're going to be making a bundle soon, with Billy Joe Wright helping us with the Ace High stations. It's going to be boom for us.
What's the situation with oil leases?
What about them?
Well, is there any problem?
Oh, there's always a problem. Just when you think you've got them nailed down, Ashley, they become a problem. I thought you wanted to get out of here. What are all these questions about, darling?
We've been made an offer.
An offer?
Mm-hmm.
From who?
T.J. Canfield. He wants to come to work for Marshall Oil, and he's willing to bring his oil leases with him.
It's nice out here.
Mm-hmm. I thought it would be good to get a breath of fresh air.
You look exceptionally beautiful tonight, Rena.
Thank you, TJ. Wanted to look my best for this special occasion.
Did you enjoy the dinner?
Couldn't have been better.
And the champagne?
Perfect. Thank you.
Good.
Well?
Well, what?
You gonna tell me your decision?
It's not midnight yet.
Look, I know that we've had our differences in the past. But I'm willing to forgive and forget them if you are.
I am.
Do you mean that?
Sure.
TJ, that's fabulous. Do you know what that means? We don't have any problems now. You and I can really work together. We'll put World Oil on the map in places that they've even heard of yet.
You sound very determined.
I am determined. My job at World Oil is the most important thing to me. It's that way with you, too, isn't it, TJ? TJ?
Honey, are you sure you're going to be all right? Yeah, Jenny, I'm fine.
I don't know if it'll be much consolation, honey, but your granddaddy lived a long, full life.
to know that.
Now, he may not have been the wealthiest man in Texas, but he was one of the happiest.
I guess that's true.
Did the sheriff get there?
Yeah, he showed up with a couple of men from the coroner's office, and it was a heart attack. They took Mr. Harper's body into town. The sheriff said he'd call out here a little later.
What's he calling for?
It's all right, honey. I'll look after it.
Thank you, Miss Kay.
Lurleen, I'm real sorry about your granddaddy.
Thanks, Ricky. If you don't mind, I think I'd like to go to my room now.
Want me to go with you?
Thanks, Jenny, but I think I need some time to myself.
Okay.
I'll be up later, honey.
Okay, Miss Kay.
As if that poor dear hadn't been through enough already.
Might not be over yet.
What do you mean?
We found this.
Kate, what is it?
Money. And a lot of it.
$15,000. Found it on Mr. Harper's body.
T.J. Canfield wants to work for Marshall Oil.
That's what I've heard.
I was right all along. He wants to move in on you.
That's not true, Justin.
That's the way it looks to me.
Now, look, just stop your raging for a minute and use your head. TJ's not that big of a fool. Even if he was trying to do what you say he is, which he's not, why would he be so obvious as to come to work for us?
What other reason could he have?
He wants something else.
What?
Money. Power. Why is anything done in Houston? And he wants more of it.
I thought he was happy in Stryker's law firm with World Oil.
Well, obviously he's not happy enough.
What do you mean?
Well, he wanted a full partnership in Stryker's firm, and he got thumbs down. He also wanted the presidency at World Oil when it opened up. Again, thumbs down. I think he just wants to come to a place where he's more appreciated.
How do you know so much?
Because I keep my ears open. That's why.
I really think it would set Houston on its ear if TJ left World Oil and came with us.
Sure would. Let me tell you something else. It'd give us the kind of publicity that would totally erase the little incident at the party when we opened up.
Well, I like the idea. TJ knows a lot about oil leases. A lot of great contacts.
That's right. So why don't you just call him up, invite him over for a meeting to discuss it?
Not so fast. I want to think about it.
Well, Justin, don't think too long. When word gets out that a man like T.J. Canfield's going to leave World Oil, any other company in Houston's going to snap him up.
I'll think about it. Tonight. Mrs. Marshall, we're going to get this company going faster than I thought.
Now, what would old man Harper be doing with $15,000?
Where would he get it?
Kate, do you think that money has anything to do with the money we found up at the Harper place?
I don't know.
You know, maybe there's something up there that'll tell us. You want me to go up there and have a look around?
Well, I think Lurleen ought to be with you. Oh, but poor child. She's had enough put on her already without being burdened with something else.
Yeah, Kate's right, Ricky. Let her get a good night's sleep and we'll talk to her tomorrow.
Okay.
I think I'll go check on her.
I'll go with you.
I certainly never expected anything like this when I came out here.
You gonna be all right going back to town?
If I were going back.
What are you talking about?
I found Mr. Harper's body. He had $15,000 cash on him. I'm not going anywhere till I get to the bottom of this.
There's no point in your getting involved and maybe even getting hurt.
Don't worry, Decker. I can take care of myself. You just worry about yourself.
TJ, what's going on in that mind of yours?
A lot of things.
Give.
I will.
Now, or do I have to wait until midnight?
Patience.
You're taxing my patience, partner.
So you think we'll make a good team, Rena?
Absolutely. You and I will be the best team in all of Texas, TJ. I put you on notice now that I trust you. I accept any advice you want to offer.
It's not going to work.
Why not? We said we would forgive and forget.
Well, that has nothing to do with it.
Then what?
I'm leaving the firm and World Oil.
What?
I've made a hard offer for my services elsewhere.
Who have you offered your services to?
Marshall Oil.
Damn you!
Anybody got any idea where Lurlene's grandfather got that $15,000?
No, and I think Ricky's going up to the Harbor Place with her this afternoon to see if they can find a clue.
I'm going with them.
Oh, you don't have to do that.
I want to. This whole thing intrigues me.
More coffee.
Please.
Yeah, it is very strange, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Is Lurleen up yet?
Kate said she went out early this morning.
Morning.
Well, hello, Ricky. Did you sleep well?
Yeah. Forgot what it feels like to get up with the cows.
You're a little late, cowboy. The rooster crowed a long time ago.
Where's Kate?
She went down into town to see if she could make the arrangements for Mr. Harper's funeral. You want some coffee?
Oh, I'd love some coffee, please.
You know, Ricky, I really appreciate you spending the night out here with us last
Oh, I'm
night.
glad to do it. Thank you. You know, it's like I told you yesterday. I wouldn't feel right about leaving you ladies out here alone with Bubba on the loose.
Well, I'm glad you're here.
How's Lurleen doing?
Said she's in good spirits. Oh, here she is. Hi, honey. You feeling better?
Yeah.
Where have you been?
Well, I went up to my place to get a few of my things.
Oh, Did you go up there by yourself?
Oh, no, I didn't go by myself, Jenny. I took Guy with me.
Oh, good, because Kate told me you'd gone out early this morning, and I thought if you were alone, I was really worried about you.
Jenny, I found some more money up there.
You did?
How much did you find?
$1,000. It was in one of the closets. I'm really worried, Jenny. I don't know where my granddaddy could have gotten all that money.
Yes, Caroline. Well, he is. We'll send him in. Yeah, I got the message. Yeah, I'll take care of it. Hi, TJ. Come on in.
Morning, Grant. You were in Dallas?
Yeah, I'm business. Well, have you got your answer for me?
Yes.
TJ, I hope you understand why I've asked for this commitment from you. We have a rough road ahead of us, and we're not going to make it unless I've got the full cooperation of everybody.
You've always had my cooperation.
I know I have it now.
No. I'm leaving World Oil.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. We're losing a good man.
You forced my hand.
I didn't mean to do that. That's the way you feel about it, though.
It is.
You've made any plans?
A few.
Anything you can talk about?
I'm taking a job with Marshall Oil. I've already called Stryker, tell him.
Marshall Oil.
They're anxious to have me.
I want you out of here right now, TJ.
You really don't understand why I'm doing this, do you?
No. I want you out of the building right now. Don't even bother to pack up your desk. We'll do that and send the stuff to you.
I've already done it. You know, I thought that you'd want to talk.
There's nothing more to talk about, TJ. Get out. Caroline, get a hold of security. I want T.J. Canfield escorted out of the building. I don't ever want to see him around here again.
still don't think we need another limo.
We need one. We'll talk about it later.
Do you have a busy day?
Oh, not too bad.
Good. It'd be a good day to talk to TJ.
Why would I want to talk to him?
What do you mean? You said last night that you were going to think about it. Justin, you know he's going to be good for the company.
Ashley, I don't like being pushed into these things.
I'm not pushing you.
Certainly seems like that to me.
No, sweetheart. I just don't want you to wait too long to make a decision because somebody else will snap him up.
All right, darling. I hear you. It starts.
Give me a kiss. Great. Bye. Gotta go to work.
Karen? Yeah, put him on. What? Bubba has escaped again. What is the matter with those people over there? Can't they keep track of that guy? Yeah, I'm sorry I screamed at you. It's not your fault. Thank you for calling.
Hello, Nita. Hello, Paige.
Hi. So you finally managed to get a day away from the station, huh?
No, not really. I'm doing some shopping, and that's why I'm here.
Oh, well, what can I do to help?
I would like to get something as a surprise for Iris Wheeler.
Oh?
We're airing a special segment following the evening news on Iris leaving Houston and setting up the Alex Wheeler Foundation in New York. And the mayor's going to be there along with a great many other dignitaries.
Oh, I think it's such a wonderful thing Mrs. Wheeler is doing, don't you?
Yes, I do. And that's why I'd like to get something special for her as a going-away present. Something lovely that she could wear on the show, and I thought perhaps you might help me choose something appropriate.
Of course. As a matter of fact, I think we have just the thing for Iris. It only came in yesterday, Nita. You know the one I'm talking about.
Oh, right. Oh, it's perfect. Mrs. Wheeler will look lovely in it. Let me get it.
Oh, thank you, Nita.
I hope it's the right size.
Well, we'll need Iris's measurements then.
Or Vivian can get them without Iris knowing.
Great. I'll give her a call.
Paige, are you sure this isn't going to be too much trouble for you?
Oh, no, not at all, Vicky. But there is one thing that you must allow me to do.
What's that?
Let it be a gift from me as well.
Well, Paige, that's very thoughtful of you, but...
No, I insist.
All right, it's a deal.
Great.
Ashley, what's wrong?
Can you believe this?
What?
Who could have done something like this?
I don't know, but I'm sure it's all going to find out.
I'll bet you Rena did it.
Oh, Ashley, this is not her style. What reason would she have to do something like this?
Since when does she need a reason for anything?
Looks like nothing has been destroyed, though.
This is great. Great way to start the morning.
I think I know.
Who?
Bubba.
Bubba.
Oh, I just got a call. He has escaped again.
Oh. Now it's starting to make some sense.
Why?
He's sick. He's a sick man. There's no telling what he's capable of.
We're going to call security.
Good.
I'm going to get Karen in here to help.
No! I'd just do it myself.
You're going to need some help.
No! Please, Justin. I'd rather do it myself than just tell somebody else everything to do.
Suit yourself, darling.
What papers, Bubba? I don't even know what you're talking about.
You know what I mean, all right. Papers from the logbook.
Now, what in the world would I want with papers from your logbook?
To use as evidence. To prove that I was slant drilling over to the Harper place.
Now, what makes you think that I have those papers?
Because they were in a file in Justin's office.
Hey, I'm not Justin's secretary.
No, maybe not. But I think you knew about him, and I think you've got him.
Well, you're wrong, Bubba. You're wrong. It's all right. He's not saying.
You think you're pretty smart, don't you?
Yeah, I'm fairly intelligent.
Well, what do you plan doing with those papers?
Now, Bubba, I don't plan to do anything with those papers because I don't have those papers.
You show anyone those papers. Hear me? Anyone. And I'll see your lover boys in jail so quick your head'll spin.
Is that why you kept them, Bubba? So you could blackmail Justin?
No, I just didn't have a chance to destroy them.
Oh, how convenient for you. Let me tell you something, Bubba. Those papers can put you in prison just as quick as Justin.
Yeah, well, maybe that's why it's not a good idea for them to be around.
Well, now, I don't know about that, because whoever did get them must have thought there'd be some use for them.
Who you plan to use them on? Me or Justin?
Well, now, Bubba, if I wanted to get you, all I'd have to do is tell Justin about those papers. Tell him I found them. You'd be out of here in 5 minutes.
No, I don't think so. I don't think you're going to do that. I think you're going to hang on to them. Just in case Justin ever tries to get rid of you.
Come on. At least he didn't get what he was coming for.
My granddaddy had $15,000 on it?
Mm-hmm, in an envelope. Any idea where he got it?
No, I don't have any idea where he got any of the money.
Did he mention some kind of a deal he was working on?
My granddaddy didn't go around making deals.
Well, how about a job or something he could have gotten paid for?
Granddaddy hadn't had a job for over a year. He couldn't hold one down because of his drinking, you know.
Well, I couldn't find anything out there.
What were you looking for?
Well, I thought maybe your granddaddy might have sold something. He wasn't exactly the neatest guy in the world. I thought he might have left a bill of sale or something out there in the barn.
My granddaddy never owned anything worth $15,000.
Great. That puts us back to square one. We still don't even know where he got the money.
There's got to be something around here that'll give us a clue.
You know, my granddaddy was a wonderful man. Before Grandma died and he started drinking so much, he used to read to me and my brother out of this Bible every night. He and Grandma got it from Mr. Marshall, Miss Kate's husband, as a wedding present.
May I see it?
Sure. It has the whole family tree inside. It's got the names of several generations. I guess it's the only thing I have left to remind me of my granddaddy now.
He left you something else, Lurleen.
What do you mean?
This.
What is it?
It's a deed of sale.
A deed of sale?
Yeah, according to this, your granddaddy sold the property about a week ago for $500,000.
I don't want any excuses, Bailey. Just get that report to me by 3 o'clock. Oh, don't tell me that, Bailey. Just do it.
I take it you heard from TJ?
I have.
Daddy's gonna have a fit when he finds out.
He has and he did. TJ called him.
Grant? Justin got to TJ. Justin is enough of a rat to pull something like this, and he doesn't even seem to care that TJ is after his wife.
Oh, I don't care about their personal involvements. That doesn't interest me at all.
Boy, does it interest me.
Well, don't let it, Rena. TJ's a lost cause. Just do your own work.
You're taking this very philosophically.
Well, it happens in business all the time.
I wish I could brush it off that easily.
Well, you're going to have to learn very fast.
Grant, isn't there anything we can do?
Nope. It's too late. I should have thought of it before.
What do you mean?
Well, he was very hurt when I refused him the presidency. I should have known that he... that he couldn't have given us 100%.
Oh, you were just trying to be fair.
And the net result of it is that I lost some oil leases. I hate to lose TJ. He was good, Rena. He was very bright. And he knows more about oil leases than anybody else.
We'll manage.
Well, when Ryan gets back, he'll be able to help you.
I don't need any help.
Everybody needs
I don't. I intend to make T.J. Canfield look like an amateur.
Mr. Marshall?
Billy Joe! Come on in here. How are you?
You want to see me, Mr. Marshall?
Oh, don't be so formal. You just call me Justin, Billy Joe.
All right. Well, you look a whole lot better since the last time I saw you, Justin.
Well, I'm feeling fine. If it's all the same to you, I'd like you to forget what happened over at the coop.
Hey, if that's what you want, it's forgotten already.
Well, it is. Yeah, just in case you're wondering, I sent a little check over to Ruby to cover the damage that I did. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure that's appreciated, Mr. Justin.
You, Justin.
Yeah. So, what'd you want to see me about?
Your contract.
Now, wait a minute. I didn't know anything about what Ruby was doing here. I want you to know, when she, told your lawyer to send over those contracts while you were indisposed at the coop, I didn't know anything about that. I want you to know that. I had no idea what was going on.
Billy Joe, I thought we were going to forget all about that.
All right. Well, sure.
Sit right down there. I admire a woman that knows how to do business.
You do?
I do. And your sister, she knows how to do business.
Well, yeah, I guess she does. She's done real well for me.
Yeah. She handled that all right. I'm just glad we're all on the same side.
Well, I'm glad that you're glad.
I'm glad.
What did you want to talk about these contracts?
Yeah, I just want to tell you the contract's arrived with Ruby's signature. As far as I'm concerned, everything's set.
Well, great, then there's no problem.
No problem at all. The ball is in your court.
Pardon me?
The ball is in your court.
What does that mean?
Well, as the new spokesman for Ace High, the success of these stations is in your hands.
Oh.
Yeah.
Says right here, pay to Jasper Harper the sum of $500,000. Also, he got a down payment of $20,000.
Ah, that's where the $15,000 came from.
Where's the other $5,000?
Well, except for the money he found lying around here, he probably spent it.
I'm surprised he didn't spend it all. He was always owing people money.
Who does it say bought the place?
Apex Realty.
Ever heard of them?
No, I never have. How about you, Arlene?
No.
Arlene, have you seen your granddaddy talking to any strange people in the last few weeks?
I hardly saw Granddaddy myself. He was always over at the Dewdrop Inn.
I wonder what arrangements were made for the payment of the rest of the money.
It's not going to do any good standing around here speculating. We're going to have to find out.
I'm going to do a better job than TJ. I'm going to prove that Iris was right in giving me my job.
Well, you'll have time to prove it. I give my people time to learn, and when they do, they're on their own. If they don't, they're out.
You're pretty hard-nosed.
Have to be.
You'd get rid of me if I didn't do my job to your satisfaction, wouldn't you?
I'd have no choice.
I can do my job better than anyone ever did it.
Well, you got your work cut out for you, Rena. TJ was good. He was very good.
I'll be better.
Well, I admire your determination.
I am going to get more oil leases than T.J. Canfield ever got.
Well, there's an awful lot of competition out there, Rena. And especially including TJ, now that he's with Marshall Oil.
All the more reason to try harder, isn't it, Grant? You know, I'm going to contact every widow in Texas that's been left oil property. I'm going to check out every will that's been in probation for the last 10 years. I'll talk to every wildcatter who'll give me the time of day. Grant, I am going to outwit, outrun, and outsmart T.J. Canfield any way I can.
Whoa, slow down, slow down.
What's the matter?
Nothing. I just love your enthusiasm.
Well, I mean it. Don't you believe me?
I believe you. As a matter of fact, I don't think that I've ever believed anybody more. Now go to it.
I'm going to. I meant what I said. Every word, Grant.
Great.
No point in my standing here. I've got work to do.
I have a business proposition.
What?
I've been thinking you and me should buy the coop.
I don't have that kind of money.
No? But your sister-in-law does.
Rena?
Mm-hmm.
The coop is not the kind of place Rena'd be interested in.
Well, she doesn't have to work there. She just has to lend you the money to buy the place.
I'm not interested.
Well, why not? We can make a lot of money.
Ruby, my career's in singing, not real estate. And even if it was, I wouldn't be interested in a partnership in the coop.
Elena's turned you against me.
I don't need Elena to see that you and Bo are up to something.
We're not up to anything.
It's okay, Ruby, really. It doesn't make any difference. You're my manager, that's all.
Come on, Ricky.
I'm not going to Rena with this crazy scheme of yours.
not
And you'd
crazy.
be smart not to do it either.
Hi, Brett.
Hi, Rena. Is my dad around?
No, he's in a meeting. Ginny told me that you were out at the ranch this morning.
I spent the night there.
You're the one that found Jasper Harper, aren't you?
Yeah.
How's Lurleen?
Upset and confused. Her grandpa's dead, and then there's this business of all the money we found.
Yeah, Ginny said it was something like $15,000.
$20,000.
$20,000? Where did old man Harper get that kind of money?
We know now.
What are you talking about?
Ricky Decker and I took Lurleen up to the old Harper place to look around. We found a deed of sale.
A deed? Don't tell me he sold the place.
For $500,000. He got a $20,000 down payment.
What do you know about that?
Lurleen didn't know a thing about it.
Well, the Harper place is worth what he got.
Well, Apex Realty agrees with you.
What's Apex Realty?
That's the company that bought the Harper place. That's why I'm here. I need Dad's help to track down the company and see what arrangements were made for payment.
Don't you know who Apex Realty is?
No idea. The only address on the lease was a post office box. I checked the phone book, but nothing listed for Apex Realty.
Maybe it's not a legitimate company.
I wouldn't know.
You know, you can check at the county courthouse. You'd find out pretty fast if Apex is a legit company or not.
Good idea.
My daddy has a friend downtown. It never hurts to have a contact. If you want, you can come to my office and I'll give you the name.
Lady, I like your style.
Here we go.
Walk.
You want to walk to Daddy?
Walk to Daddy.
Here we go.
Walk to Daddy.
Here? Show him how you walk. Yes. Yes. How about that?
Hey, buddy.
You too.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Hey, buddy.
I think I will take him. Yes, it's time for mine now.
Okay there, buddy.
Yes.
Oh, bye-bye, buddy. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. I swear that boy grows faster than any baby I've ever seen.
Yeah, if I were you, Billy Joe, I'd start looking for a college for him right away.
Yeah, maybe I should. Got me that time, didn't you?
You and Nita seem to be getting along better these days.
Yeah, we had a talk the other day, and, well, I apologize for the stupid things I said about her sketches.
She never held that against you, Billy Joe.
Well, maybe not, but still, it wasn't right for me to go tearing apart something like that. I mean, what do I know about design or fashion? I'm just some dumb hick from Waco.
Now, don't go putting yourself down, BJ. I happen to know Nita likes that dumb guy from Waco.
You really think so?
I know she would like very much to be friends with you again.
It wasn't exactly what I wanted to hear.
What do you want?
I don't want you just as a friend. Paige, I want her back. When she had that divorce, really threw me for a loop. But I know I can get her back if I really try.
BJ?
It's true. It's true, Paige. I know it. I just know it. I've been moping around, feeling sorry for myself, blaming Nita for what happened. I finally got it all figured out. I gotta prove to her that I'm worthy enough for her to come back to me. I know it. Now that I got my own TV show, I know it's a good start. I know that because when I told Nita, you should have seen the way her eyes lit up. And I got a couple other big surprises for her, all planned.
Billy Joe, you have got to give her some time. You can't go rushing into things.
Well, when I put him down in his crib, he stopped crying and he went out like a light. He must have been really tired.
Yeah, that must be it. You know, Nita, I was thinking, how about going on a picnic this weekend?
Picnic?
Yeah. Just you and me and Billy Joe Jr.
Well,
Nita, you remember those picnic grounds back in Waco we used to go to? Remember it down by the lake?
Yeah.
Well, you know, there's somebody who told me they got a place just like that near Marshall Village.
You do?
Yeah. What do you say, Nita? Come on, let's go. Come on.
I'm supposed to work with Paige this weekend.
Oh, don't worry about me, Nita. I can take care of the shopping myself.
See?
Well, it's not just that. I have supper with Aunt Maggie. I promised her I better not, Billy Joe. I'm sorry. Maybe some other time.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, some other time.
Hi.
Well, hello, Ruby Wright.
You busy?
Never too busy to see you, darling.
I just wanted to make sure you got those contracts that I sent over.
Well, I sure did. And I'm very anxious for Billy Joe to start.
Good. I think he's going to be real good for you. And for Ace High Filling Station.
I do, too. I can spot talent a mile away.
I bet you can spot money a mile away, too.
You bet.
Me, too. I got real good instincts when it comes to money.
That's what I like about you, Ruby. We think alike.
I just heard about a sure thing. Thought maybe you'd like to go in on it with me.
What kind of a sure thing, Ruby?
Coop's for sale. And they're not asking much for it. Now, since I've been working as manager there, I've seen what kind of money pours into that place. Nobody knows about this yet, but since you're so kind to Billy Joe and you've been such a good friend to us, I thought maybe you could go in on it with me. Now, all they're asking
That's
is
very generous of you, Ruby.
Good, then we got a deal? It's just
I think I'm going to have
down.
to pass on this one.
You got something against making good money?
Oh, you know I don't.
Well, then what's the problem?
Well, it's just my money's all tied up.
You telling me you're broke?
Oh, no, I'm not broke. It's just my money's tied up. You know, starting a new company takes a bundle.
Well, I'm sure you can afford to form a little partnership with me.
Ruby, give me 6 months. I'll buy it for you as a present.
I don't have 6 months, Justin.
I'm sorry, Ruby. There's nothing I can do for you. But I do have an idea.
What?
Why don't you get the money from Billy Joe?
Billy Joe?
Yeah. Why, Billy Joe is going to be raking in so much money from me and Vicky Bellman, anybody would be pleased to give him a loan. It is something to think about now.
Billy Joe.
Oh, how you doing, Miss Bellman? I don't see you down here too often.
I've been thinking about the best time to schedule your new show.
Well, the sooner the better. I can't wait to get started. As a matter of fact, Ruby and I've got a lot of ideas we want to talk to you about.
Oh, yes, Ruby. From now on, I'm going to watch her like a hawk.
Miss Bellman, I've got an apology to make to you about that mess with Justin Marshall. I'm real sorry.
So am I. And more than a little disappointed that you kept it a secret from me, unless, of course, you didn't know about it either. But you did know, didn't you?
Yes, ma'am, I did. I wish I knew what to say.
Nothing you can say. We just have to put all of that behind us and concentrate on making your new show a success.
Well, I want that, Miss Bellman, more than anything.
But there is something you should know, Billy Joe.
What's that?
You've been successful because you come across honest and sincere, and the viewers feel that they can trust you. I'm very disappointed to find out that there is nothing to back up that image. So, Billy Joe, you be very careful and don't do anything to disappoint the viewers. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have work to do.
Miss Bellman? Dang it, Ruby. I knew this was going to happen.
You don't look like any oil company executive I've ever seen.
Well, you wouldn't either if you cleaned up that mess in my office like I did.
I told you to let Karen help you fix it up.
Okay. I had to go through all my stuff myself anyway.
Anything missing?
Nope.
You sure?
Of course I'm sure. It's my office.
Well, you don't have to snap my head off.
I'm sorry. I'm just tired.
I told security to keep an eye out.
Good.
You know, I still can't understand it. What would Bubba be looking for in your office?
Maybe it wasn't even Bubba.
Well, who else could it be?
Maybe we'll never know. Justin, you thought any more about TJ coming to work here?
I'm checking him out.
What do you mean you're checking him out? You know he's good.
Ashley, I've said this for the last time. I don't like to be rushed into this.
And I don't want you to wait too long to make a decision.
You're sure anxious to get him over here, aren't you?
You bet I am. He's good. We need him, and he'll be good for the company.
Okay. Make an appointment.
I will. You won't regret this, Justin.
Ashley, I haven't made a final decision yet.
Oh, I know. And I'm sure that when you do, it'll be the right one.
So, if you want the best tractors in Texas, this is the baby for you. Texas Tractors.
It's a take, Billy Joe.
Thank you there, buddy.
Yeah. We'll do the next spot live.
Okie doke.
Showtime in 15 minutes.
Gotcha. All right.
You're getting better and better at these commercials, Billy Joe. Justin's going to be real proud of you.
What do you want, Ruby?
I don't want anything. I just want to do you a favor.
Yeah, well, what kind of favor?
I want to let you in on a real fine business opportunity.
Well, if it's all the same to you, I think I'm going to pass on that.
You don't even know what it is yet.
I don't need to know, Ruby. I can tell by the tone in your voice there's something I don't want any part of.
That's not a very brotherly attitude,
Yeah,
Billy
well,
Joe.
right now, I don't feel in a very brotherly attitude, thank you.
What's wrong?
What's wrong is I just had a run-in with Vicki Bellman.
She's still upset about the deal with Justin Marshall.
What do you think?
Billy Joe, you got to listen to me. This is important.
All right, Ruby. Spit it out. What is? You're going to be dogging me all day till you get your say anyways.
The coupe is for sale.
So?
So, Billy Joe, it's a steal. We can get it for a mere $100,000.
I'm not interested in stealing anything.
Billy Joe, I need you to get the loan for the down payment. Now, look, it's a good investment for you, and you're going to need a tax shelter like this because of the money you're making.
Ruby, I don't want any part of it.
Do you know what's the matter with you? You're running scared because of Vicki Bellman. Billy Joe, do not turn down a deal like this because of her.
It's not just Vicki Bellman.
What is it then?
I don't have the money, Ruby.
Oh, come on, Billy Joe. I'm your business manager. I know how much money
I just got a loan from the bank, and I had to put up everything but my shirt for collateral.
What do you need a loan for?
I'm building a house.
Your what?
It's more like a mansion.
A mansion? What do you need a mansion for?
It's not for me. It's for Nita and Billy Joe Jr.
Billy Joe, you aren't even married anymore.
I know, but this mansion's going to fix all that. I'm going to build a house that's going to knock Nita's eyes out.
Billy Joe, why are you doing this?
Because I want to get Nita back. One way or the other, I want to get my wife, and I want to get my son back.
You're crazy!
I will give you a call as soon as the dress is ready. I think you look terrific in it. Thank you for coming by.
Paige,
Yeah.
Cheryl wants the day off tomorrow. She's got a photography session.
Oh. Sure, that's fine. Yeah, it'll be good for business to see my models in a commercial ad.
Well, I'll tell her.
Okay. Nita, you have been down ever since Billy Joe left. Is something wrong?
Not really. Something I gotta work on myself, Paige.
Would you like to talk about it?
I don't think so.
I'm a very good listener.
It's about Billy Joe's expectations.
His expectations.
Yeah, I told him I wanted us to be friends again. But he doesn't want to be just friends. He wants something else.
Would it really be so terrible if you were more than friends?
Paige, I'm still hurting about the way he treated me since our divorce. He sends Ruby over here to pick up Billy Joe Jr. because he doesn't want to see me. He doesn't even want to talk to me. You know what that feels like? Feels like I'm nobody. And now he's trying to make up for it. Well, I don't get over these things so quick, you know? In my own way, I still love him. He's the father of my baby. I just can't live with him. That's what he wants. It's written all over his face.
You know, maybe you should just think about it as a possibility. You know, it might be...
No, there's a customer. I'll go tell Cheryl, okay?
May I help you?
Karen? He's here already? Okay, just hold him out there for a couple of minutes. Thank you, doll.
Hello, Justin.
DJ! So, you want to work for Marshall Oil?
You need me.
What are you thinking about? I was just remembering something.
What's that?
The first day my granddaddy told me they were going to drill on our property, I was so excited because I thought we were going to be rich and things were going to be different. At the Five and Dime in Marshall Village and at the post office, people would stop and talk to me. People who'd never given me the time of day before. I didn't care what their reasons were because I liked it. Then when they found out that the drilling wasn't legal and there'd be no big money coming in, they stopped talking to me.
Some people can be very cruel.
People are just people. But now I find out that my granddaddy sold the place to a company I never even heard of for $500,000.
Honey, do you really think that's going to change your life?
Well, Jenny, I hope so. I really do.
There you are, Mama. What are you doing in the studio? Working. Want a little advice from a fellow executive?
Oh, I can hardly wait for this one.
Why don't you have people come to you? It'd save you time. There's no reason for you to go stomping all through the studio.
Well, I don't mind. I do what has to be done. Oh, what's on your mind, Rena?
I need your help.
Well, of course, honey.
Have you heard that Lurleen Harper's grandfather died?
Oh, no, I didn't. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Well, that poor child has been through a lot, hasn't she?
Well, a lot more than anyone should have to go through.
How can I help?
Her grandfather sold their property just before he died. Some outfit called Apex Realty.
Never heard of it.
Neither have I. I have a feeling that it's a shady operation. I want to buy that property back from Apex.
Do you know what the purchase price was?
Mm-hmm. $500,000. I don't want to see the Harper and Marshall places split up in any way. Some land developer or oil company could move right in. They'd ruin the whole area, Mama.
You're right. All right. I'll check it out. And if the price isn't completely unreasonable, we'll pick the property up.
Thank you. Means a lot to me.
Means a lot to me, too.
So I talked to the man Rena's dad knows downtown, and he gave me the handle I need on Apex Realty.
What is it?
Apex Realty is a pocket corporation, paper tiger, but it's registered.
To whom?
Principal officer is a man named Wilmer H. Boone, and the office address is in the shabby part of town over near the channel. Dad, this whole thing smells fishy.
Well, what are you going to do about it?
I'm going to pay Mr. Wilmer H. Boone a visit tomorrow.
You think we need you?
We both know it's true.
I think that's a pretty big assumption from somebody who's come begging for a job.
Oh, I wouldn't call it begging.
What would you call it?
I'd call it a mutually beneficial arrangement.
I know that Stryker turned you down for a partnership. Grant turned you down for the presidency. What makes you think we need you?
Who do you have at Marshall Oil that knows as much about leases as I do? I got a couple leases right here that would really help Marshall Oil. But then I'm not telling you anything you don't already know, am I?
Let's get down to basics, TJ. First of all, I'm not going to offer you the presidency of Marshall Oil if that's what you're asking.
I didn't ask for it. I'll list my requests and we can start from there.
All right, Canfield, there's no harm in listening.
I want the same job I held at World Oil. I want a 15% increase in salary, and you pick up all my personal expenses.
Wait a minute. Why should I pay you more
And I
than
want
World Oil
first
did?
stock option on all shares of Marshall Oil.
You sure think you're worth a hell of a lot, don't you?
I am.
Okay. Okay, Canfield, I guess we can give this a try. I'll have the contracts written up this afternoon. You know, you're making a very wise decision. This is the company that's going places.
I think it will now. I'll start to work tomorrow.
Canfield, we begin here at 9 a.m. sharp.
9 a.m.
Please sign this, Ricky, right on this page opposite Earl Campbell.
Earl Campbell, where'd you get that autograph?
The Oilers home opener. Mrs. Wheeler got me tickets, and she arranged for me to go into the locker room afterwards.
Vivian, you don't really want my autograph. I mean, I'm not in the same league as Earl Campbell or Zsa Zsa Gabor.
Sure you are. I watch you on the Phil Roberts show all the time.
Yeah, but we're friends. I mean, I've known you ever since Alex brought you down here to Houston.
That's all the more reason why you should sign. If you sign for all those girls who scream at you all the time in the studio, you ought to sign for me.
All right. Okay. Is Brett up yet?
Yeah, she's been up for hours. Is it true that you might get a show on KVIK?
How'd you find out about that?
In the Chronicle. It was in one of those columns.
Well, yeah, it's a real possibility.
According to the Chronicle, you're going to become the new John Davidson. You know what? I have his autograph in this book, too.
Vivian, would you tell Brett that I'm here to see her, please?
Oh, sure.
You can forget about breakfast, Vivian. I'll catch something on the way. Hi, Decker. What are you doing here?
Well, I came to talk to you.
Well, you better talk fast. I'm in a hurry. Oh, Vivian, apologize to Iris for me. I can't stay and wait. I'll see her before she leaves, though.
Yes,
Brett, did you talk to the people who own that company that bought the Harper Ranch from Lurlene's granddaddy?
Yes, Rena's contact at the county courthouse managed to turn up an address. It's down by the channel.
Well, that's not such a good part of town.
I'm on my way there now.
Well, maybe I should go with you.
Why?
Well, you might need some help.
Look, Muscles, I appreciate your frontier spirit, wanting to protect the women folk and all, but it's not necessary. I can handle this.
Brett.
Muscles, I like that. Would you sign Muscles underneath your autograph here?
TJ.
Hi, Ashley. Come in.
Well, I
really don't have time, but I wanted to come by and tell you that I'm really glad that you and Justin reached an agreement.
Well, we shook hands. I'm not sure Justin's all that happy about it.
Don't worry about it. It was a good decision, and Justin knows it.
Listen, you did a nice job of arranging this office for me so quickly.
Well, I would have done the same for any new employee.
Thanks all the same.
No thanks needed.
Ashley.
Yeah?
Is that going to be your attitude the whole time I work here?
What do you mean?
I mean, strictly business. No thanks necessary. There's a lot more between us than that, Ashley, and you know it.
No, you're wrong, TJ. There's not. There's not anything between us now, and there never will be. I have work to do.
TJ.
Hello.
Oh, sweetheart, what are you doing here?
Just checking on your new executive, seeing if he had anything he needed.
It's a little sparse in here, isn't it?
Well, as long as I have a phone, a pencil, and a piece of paper, it'll suit me just fine.
Well, we'll have to get a decorator in here, but this'll have to do for a while. Your contract is being drawn up. My secretary will have it for you later on in the day.
Oh, no hurry, Justin. I trust you.
Good. Good. Sweetheart, why don't we get out of here and let this man go to work? After all, that is what we're paying him for.
Even I'll have my coffee in the living room this morning.
Mrs. Wheeler, aren't you going to have some breakfast?
Oh, I haven't time. So much I have to do before I catch that plane.
You shouldn't try to pack on an empty stomach.
Oh, the packing's been taken care of for days. It's all the goodbyes I'm worried about.
I just can't believe you're
leaving. It's going to be a very full day.
Well, I think it's wonderful about the television program.
Yes. For Vicki Bellman to devote an entire half-hour special to me.
And Mr. Wheeler says there are going to be all kinds of tributes and testimonials.
Well, it's because of the foundation. Everyone realizes how important the Alex Wheeler Foundation can be, so they're going out of their way to help it succeed.
Yeah, but even so, there are going to be a lot of people here in Houston who are going to miss you.
Yes, and I'll miss them. Vivi, I need my coffee.
Oh, yeah, right away, Mr. Wheeler. Mr. Wheeler, I'm going to bring you some rolls and coffee, too.
No, don't bother, Vivian. I don't have time.
What is it with this family this morning?
Vivian, I'll be back here in a little while. Take Mrs. Wheeler to the station. You can feed me then.
Grant, you've been on the phone all morning.
Yeah, long distance.
Is there some sort of an emergency?
About 3 of them. That's the nature of the oil business.
You shouldn't try to shoulder all of the responsibility yourself. That's the mistake Alex made.
Oh, don't worry about that, Iris. I can delegate responsibility. The problem is I just don't have a second in command.
Well, I hope Lacey can persuade your son Mark to assume the presidency of World Oil.
So do I. I need him. I may have to exercise a little parental pressure.
Oh, for God's sake, don't do that. Offer Mark the opportunity, but let him come to you of his own accord. Don't make the same mistake with him that I made with Dennis.
Oh, I won't do that. I promise you. Besides, I'm not so sure that I could force his hand anyway. I suppose you've recognized that my 3 children do exercise a certain amount of independence.
I know Lacey has a mind of her own.
What about Brett?
I think she's magnificent. She's what I might have been, only I'd had her spirit and sense of freedom. Don't ever try to rein her in.
I don't think I could. And incidentally, speaking of spirit, I'm going to miss yours an awful lot. You're leaving me with a vacuum that nobody's going to be able to fill.
Oh, it'll be filled. I think you're going to be surprised. Someone's going to fill it, more than fill it. It's beginning to happen right now. I know, I've been watching.
Iris, will you speak sense? I know that I'm in the oil business right now, but way deep down, I'm really nothing but a banker. Now, I can evaluate a business risk, or I can compound interest in my head, but the one thing I can't do is handle a riddle.
You'd best forget you ever were a banker. The oil business is much more rough and tumble.
Hold this.
Grant?
Wheeler residence. Hello? I'm sorry, I can't understand you. Oh, it's for you. It's a conference call from Venezuela.
I'll take it upstairs in my study.
Vivi, we have to talk.
Where's Mrs. Wheeler?
Upstairs, but that's all right.
Is it?
Yes, it gives me a chance to talk to you alone. Come over here and sit down, please.
Vivian, I can't. I've got to go to the office.
I know, and that's one of the things I want to talk to you about. This won't take long, and it's very important.
Very well, Vivian. Now, what is it that is so important?
You don't eat properly, and you work too hard.
Oh,
now,
Vivian.
hear me out, Mr. Wheeler, please. Mrs. Wheeler worries about you a great deal, and so do I.
Well, there's no need for that.
Oh, yes, there is. And as long as Mrs. Wheeler was here, she did a fine job of looking after you, but she's leaving now. And what you're going to need in this house is a woman to take care of you.
I've got 2 daughters.
Oh, daughters don't count. They have other interests. They're never in the house much, and they're much too young.
I hope Brett never hears you say that.
What you need is a woman with experience in taking care of people. A woman like me.
Ah. I see you're taking me up on my offer.
Well, Mrs. Wheeler has asked me to stay on here after she goes, and you've asked me to stay too. See, at first I thought no, because Mrs. Wheeler and I have been together for a very long time, and it just didn't seem right for me to let her go to New York without me. But I don't want to live in New York, and she knows that. And she's probably going to be staying in a lot of hotels, and they've got maids. So,
you've decided against New York.
right. And then I thought I might go back to Bay City. But then 2 weeks ago, I got a letter from my ex-boyfriend, Rudy. And would you believe that he's now engaged to be married to some girl that he met on a bus?
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Vivian.
That's all right. At least I found out in time.
Well, there is that.
Well, have you made any plans?
Well, I'd like to take you up on your offer to stay here. I know Mrs. Wheeler would like me to do that.
That's what I want.
And I like River Oaks. Living here reminds me a lot of living where I grew up on the farm. And the thing of it is, I don't want you to think for a minute that I'm staying here and making this decision because I haven't any choice.
Oh, Vivian, I would never think that.
Oh, good, because I think that we really suit each other. I've got just the kind of experience that you need. I'm glad that's settled. You got yourself a housekeeper, Mr. Wheeler.
Well, thank you, Vivian, for letting me know.
Sure.
Yes? Who? Well, of course I'll see Mrs. Bellman. Send her right in.
TJ, am I welcome in the enemy camp?
Of course you are. I am surprised to see you, though.
Well, my real business is with Justin, but I thought as long as I was here, I'd stop by and see you first.
I would have called. I've simply been too busy.
Well, you certainly got set up rather quickly. Doesn't look like this was a spur-of-the-moment defection.
It's not a defection, Vicky. It's merely a change of loyalties.
I think you're splitting hairs.
I made a quick decision.
Stryker is very upset.
I did what I had to do. Grant forced my hand.
By not giving you the presidency of World Oil?
Yes.
You disappoint me, TJ.
I'll have to live with that.
This kind of thing is never easy. I've always liked you.
Thank you, Vicky. I feel the same way about you. This was purely a business decision, nothing personal. I'll have better opportunities here at Marshall Oil.
Stryker turned down your request for a partnership. Was that a factor?
Yes. If I had gotten the partnership, or the presidency of World Oil, I wouldn't be here now. But it's nobody's fault. It was purely a business decision. I hope they understand my feelings about it.
I understand. I'm going to miss you, though.
You sound like we can't be friends.
Stryker thought of you as a son, TJ. He's angry.
I'm sorry.
But I know deep down inside he wishes you success. And I think you're going to find it.
Thank you, Vicky.
Well, I really must go.
Hello, Vicky. Welcome to the offices of Marshall Oil. I hope you like our new location.
I should, Justin. I own it.
Oh, yes, of course. I forgot. Please have a seat.
Thank you.
Can I get you something? A drink? Sherry, perhaps?
This is not a social call, Justin.
Yes, somehow I had the feeling that it wasn't. Are you here to collect the rent?
I think you know perfectly well why I'm here.
Vicky, I'm sorry. I honestly don't. Does it have something to do with Rena?
My daughter can take care of herself now. I'm here because of the deal you made with Billy Joe Wright. I don't appreciate the way it was handled.
That surprises me. I would have thought that an experienced businesswoman like you would have admired the way it was handled.
You know very well I never would have given Billy Joe his own show if I'd known he was under contract to Marshall Oil.
I suspected that. That's why I told them to keep quiet. Vicky, I think that your attitude is very prejudicial. Marshall Oil has as much right to advertise as anyone does.
Most advertisers are willing to pay for their airtime.
And so will Marshall Oil. We plan to promote our Ace High stations very heavily on your station.
Oh. Well, then our station will contract for your commercials the same way they would for any other sponsor.
Even though you don't particularly like me.
Justin, I have never let my personal feelings interfere with business.
I'm glad.
It does annoy me, though, to realize that every time Billy Joe is on the air, he will be reminding the public of your Ace gasoline.
Ace High, Vicky.
Whatever. The point is that in the future, I want our business dealings to be up front and out in the open.
Absolutely, Vicky. I wouldn't have it any other way. I want to thank you very much for coming by. It's always nice to know that we can do business together without animosity.
Goodbye, Justin.
Oh, by the way, Vicky, on your way out, why don't you say hello to TJ? I know you've always been good friends.
I've already seen TJ.
Good. Don't be a stranger, you hear?
I can't help it. It just doesn't seem possible that after today you're not going to be in Houston.
Well, I won't be in permanent exile. After all, I do have family here and friends like you. I'm certain I'll be back for visits.
Oh, I know. It's not the same, though. You see, I still remember that when I first came to Houston, you were the only friend I had.
Oh, I did enjoy all of our luncheons at the Top of the World Club.
We were a team. I tell you what, you've really been a big, big help to me.
And you were a great help to Alex.
Well, I'm sure not at World Oil now. And you're not even going to be in Houston.
We're both starting over. Oh, don't look so glum. We'll see each other. You'll come to New York to visit me. We'll go to the opera, the ballet, and we will go on shopping sprees.
That does sound nice.
Oh, it will be. Oh, I didn't tell you. Your Aunt Hildy called me yesterday from Saint-Tropez.
Oh.
She's going to be in New York next month. So if you could get away, the three of us could certainly set New York on its ear.
I don't know if I could survive it. Oh, boy, I wish I could. I know I'll never be able to manage it now, though. I mean, we're just starting out. We've got all the new lease holdings. We've got the ad campaign for Ace High. Nah, Justin Marshall would never be able to stay on top of it all.
You're right, he couldn't. He needs you even more than Alex did. And I hope he has come to realize it at last.
He has.
How are you getting along?
Fine, just fine.
You do realize how sorry I am for all the trouble I caused.
It was never really your fault. If anybody was to blame, it was me. I don't know why I was so insecure. When the man said he loved me, I just should have believed him.
Do you believe him now?
Mm-hmm, I do.
I'm glad.
You've been more than a friend to me. You've been like family. And I love you, and I'm going to miss you something awful.
Oh, I'll miss you too, baby. But listen, at least I can leave secure in the knowledge that Rena has given up her insane notion of revenge. I mean, thank heavens, she will not be causing you and Justin any more trouble.
Oh, really? That's very interesting. He has a sister in Dallas. Well, do you have a name on her? Uh-huh. How about a phone number? Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. One more leaseholder tracked to earth.
Great.
I think this one's going to be a snap. I should probably have it tied up before the weekend.
Well, I'm glad to see that the loss of TJ hasn't upset our whole routine.
Oh, hardly. If anything, the wheels are spinning a little faster. I always thought that TJ was a little too conservative. Was there something special you wanted?
No. I just dropped by to let you know that I was going out to the ranch this afternoon. I figured that one of us ought to pay our respects at the Harper funeral.
Oh, that's very nice. I'm sure that Lurleen will be very appreciative.
Oh, yeah, she's had her fill of bad times, I'm sure.
Well, I'm hoping that Ginny, Kate, and I can help her put her life back together again a little.
Well, if there's anything I can do, just let me know.
Hello? Yes? Yes, I was the one inquiring about that property in Nance. You are? Well, is there some way I can get a hold of her? Please tell her I'll be in touch. Thank you.
Coincidentally, has Brett gotten in touch with you?
Yes, she left a message saying that she would be here a little later.
Well, you know that she did discover that Apex Realty, the Paper Tiger Corporation that bought the Harper Ranch.
Who's behind it?
I don't know. She's got a name, and she's got an address.
Good. That's good. I'm glad I can help her out on that. I want to find out who they are and why they bought the Harper place.
Oh, Miss Marshall, it's beautiful. When you called me about Mrs. Wheeler's measurements, I had no idea it was going to be so elegant.
Well, I'm glad you approved, Vivian. I hope Iris likes it.
Oh, why wouldn't she? Are all the dresses in your boutique as gorgeous as that?
Well, we try.
I better come down and take a look for myself.
Well, you're welcome anytime, Vicky.
Well, of course, I don't think that I would ever need anything so fancy. Still, you never know.
You never know.
Do you remember if we packed my gray suede gloves? Because what time is it?
It's still early.
What, is something wrong? I didn't think I had to be at the station until after 5 o'clock.
You don't, Iris. Relax. Paige and I are here to give you a going-away present.
A present?
Yes, Iris, a present from KVIK and from Page One.
Isn't it beautiful? They got your measurements from me.
I don't know what to say. I asked Paige for advice, and she agreed to help, but only on one condition. That the present be from me as well as Vicky.
Paige.
I think what you're doing for the Alex Wheeler Foundation is just wonderful, Iris. It's going to make a big difference to a lot of people all over the world. I hope so. And I think Alex would be very proud of you. I remember him as being a very kind man with a generous heart. And I want to wish you much success.
Thank you, Paige.
If we could part as friends, it would mean a great deal to me.
It would mean a great deal to me, too.
Hey, Ruby, is Wang in the kitchen? I'm starving.
Today's market day. Wang's out buying chicken wings or something. He won't be back for a couple hours.
Maybe I'll go back and fix something for myself then.
All right, but be careful. Wang can get pretty mad if somebody messes up his kitchen.
Okay, I'll make my eggs quick and clean.
Hey, Ricky, did you see this?
What?
There's an article in this paper about a man named Jasper Harper. It says that they found him dead of a heart attack out at the Marshall Ranch day before yesterday. It says he had $15,000 on him.
Paper shouldn't print that. It's nobody's business.
Papers print news. Dead man with money sure seems like news to me. It says he was survived by a grandson and a granddaughter.
Yeah, you've met Lurleen. She's been in here a couple times.
Oh, yeah. She's that sweet little thing that always seems so helpless.
There's nothing helpless about Lurleen. She's a real nice girl.
And what about her brother?
Nobody's heard anything from Junior for a couple of years.
He better hurry up and come home or he could miss out. Lurleen could end up getting that $15,000 in the ranch all by herself.
So she won't be getting the ranch.
Why not?
Her granddaddy sold it for $500,000.
$500,000? You mean that little thing's gonna have $500,000 all to herself? It says in the paper there's a funeral today for family and friends. You gonna go?
Yeah, I am.
Poor Lurleen. I always thought she was such a sweet little thing. There's something kind of special about her. She always made me feel real protected. Hey, Ricky, would you mind taking me to that funeral, too?
Red, your daddy tells me that you tracked down that real estate company.
Your Mr. Manning over at the county courthouse was very helpful. Apex Realty is a registered corporation, but it's a paper tiger. Mr. Manning couldn't tell me the name of the principals, but the president is a man named Wilmer Boone, and he has an address over by the channel.
Well, now I think we should pay Mr. Boone a visit.
That's why I came by.
I'm ready when you are.
Rena, a paper corporation buying the Harper place. Somebody's hiding something.
Exactly what I was thinking.
I wonder who's hiding behind Apex Realty.
Well, that's what we're going to find out.
Off we go.
I'm with you, kid.
I can't get over Paige's attitude. She was a different person. She was charming.
Paige can be charming, Iris, when she's given half a chance.
Did she really insist on giving me this dress?
Yes, and she selected it for you herself.
It's stunning. You don't think she's up to something, do you?
No, Iris. She told you the truth. She was very fond of Alex. And she's very happy about the idea of a foundation.
It seems so strange being reconciled with Paige. She said some very nice things about me.
And she meant them. She appreciated the way you helped Justin and Ashley.
Well, I had to. I feel so responsible for Ashley, and I worry about her. Now, I suspect you can stop worrying. Justin and Ashley are going to do just fine. But it can't be easy for them. A new marriage, a new company, and everything on such tenuous footing. Marshall Oil is on very solid ground. And Justin has already pulled a couple of spectacular coups.
Like what?
Like signing Billy Joe Wright to promote his gas stations. And luring T.J. Canfield away from World Oil.
Grant was upset about that.
And he should be. T.J. is a very knowledgeable oil man. He's going to help make Marshall Oil a formidable competitor.
Do you think Justin will succeed?
Yes, I do.
Well, I hope his success makes Ashley happy.
Why shouldn't it?
Oh, I don't know, Vicky. It's just a feeling I have.
What sort of feeling?
There's something nagging away at Ashley. Perhaps from her past.
Well, what makes you think that?
Something her Aunt Hildy let slip one afternoon when we were on the phone. It seems Ashley ran away from the University of Texas during her sophomore year.
What do you mean, ran away?
She just disappeared for several months.
Why?
I don't know. But apparently it was something pretty traumatic. Hildy wouldn't tell me what it was. I'm not even sure she knew.
That's odd.
Yes, it is. And I can't help but wonder if that incident, whatever it may have been, doesn't still weigh heavily on Ashley's conscience.
These need your signature.
I'll deal with those later. Ashley, I'm very happy that you came to see me. There is something that I want to talk to you about.
What is it?
It's Dr. Kirkman. Actually, we've never really discussed the man.
Well, Justin, there is nothing to discuss.
I'm sorry to upset you. I really need to know, Ashley.
Know what?
Well, he is an expert on fertility, right?
Yes.
Is there a problem?
No. Not like you mean. No, it's just going to take a little time.
Well, how much time?
Well, sweetheart, I can't answer that.
But there's nothing wrong. Nothing physical.
No. No, absolutely nothing. Dr. Kirkman just says that it takes some people longer than others, that's all.
But we will have a son.
Well, not only are you demanding an heir, but you're even stipulating that it must be a male heir. Well, are there any other specifications, Mr. Marshall?
No, sweetheart, no. The only specification there should be is that there should be a family here in Houston to enjoy the empire that I am going to build.
There will be. I guarantee it.
Ashley, don't ever lie to me again.
I won't.
Ruby, you're not going to Mr. Harper's funeral.
Why not?
You don't belong there. Paper says family and friends.
Well,
You don't qualify on either count.
Ricky, I've always considered myself a friend. I mean, it's not my fault that I never got to know Lurleen any better than I do.
You're not a friend, Ruby.
Well, it's a pity I'm not. That poor little girl probably needs all the friends she can get right now. I bet she's feeling real lonely.
Would this sudden concern for Lurleen have anything to do with the money she's about to come into?
Ricky, that is a terrible thing to say. I am a naturally compassionate person.
Ruby, you're about as compassionate as a cash register. Now, I know you're trying to scrape up the money to buy the coupe, but you're not going to get that money from Lurleen.
That money is the farthest thing from my mind right now. I just wanted to go to this funeral so that I could pay that poor girl my respects.
Send flowers. You got no business at the funeral.
Check's in the mail.
It's Rena Decker.
I don't know any Rena Decker.
Well, we've never met, but I want to talk to you about some business.
Well, like I said, the check's in the mail.
Mr. Boone, I don't know anything about a check, and I'm not here to collect anything. I'm here to make an offer.
Well, last time somebody made me an offer, They tried to break my legs. You from Lenny?
I don't know any Lenny.
Are you sure?
Yes?
Who's that with you?
It's a friend of mine, Brett Wheeler. Please, Mr. Boone, open the door. You're not afraid of two ladies, are you?
Well, in this business, I've met some pretty tough ladies. You just don't pay to take a chance.
I'm here to talk about the Harper place.
The Harper place? Oh, you mean that ranch out by, Marshall Village? Oh, why didn't you say so? Come right in. You too, sister. You just can't be too careful.
I'm Mrs. Decker, and this is Miss Wheeler.
I heard you before. Are you friends of old man Harper?
Friends of his granddaughter.
Oh, yeah. I figured the family'd start turning up all kinds of friends now. Sit.
Thank you.
Yeah, I read where old man Harper died. It's a shame, him coming into all that money.
Did he really come into all that money? As far as we know, all he got was the $20,000 down payment.
Oh, well, you don't need to worry about that. The bank will send the rest in a one lump sum check. If you don't trust me, you can check with the Lone Star State Bank. Yeah, old man Harper was smarter than he looked. That place is worth every penny he got for it.
I'm here to make an offer.
Yeah, what's that?
I want to buy the Harper place.
Possibly know that unless you look at me.
Oh, yes, I can. I know how you look, and I know how the dress looks, and together you look just great.
Vivian.
If you'll excuse me now, I've got some things to do.
Things can wait.
No, these things can't wait.
Vivian, I want to talk to you.
I can't talk now, not if I'm going to get my chores done in time to watch you on TV.
There isn't much time, Vivian. Grant will be here soon to pick me up, and after the show, I'll be going directly to the airport.
I know.
I thought this might be a good time for us to say goodbye.
I can't say goodbye.
Vivi.
Oh, Vivi. I can't say goodbye either. I know I'm being silly, Mrs. Wheeler.
No, Vivi.
Oh, no. You are not silly at all. Was anyone ever blessed with such a wonderful companion?
I know that I've been a lot of trouble. And I know I say things sometimes that I shouldn't say.
You just don't know how many times you've saved me from making a fool of myself.
Well, we've been through an awful lot together.
Have we ever?
I remember that time back in Bay City when that awful Mr. Stone held that gun on us and he was so mean to me. Do you remember what you did?
I slapped him.
And you told him never to speak that way to your friend again. He was holding a gun on you, and you slapped him and you called me your friend.
You are my friend, Mary. You're the best friend I've ever had.
Oh, that's the way I feel too. Oh, I'm gonna miss you.
I'm going to miss you. But I'm going to send you first-class tickets to New York, and you'll come visit me often.
Well, I'm not sure that I can get away that easily because I have a feeling that Mr. Wheeler is going to need a lot of taking care of. All right, then. If you can't come visit me in New York, I'll just have to come back here and visit you in Houston.
You promise?
I promise.
Ruby, do you know where Ricky is? He wasn't at the apartment.
Yeah, he's out and back messing up Wang's kitchen.
Hey, did you read about this?
What? Poor Lurleen Harper. Her granddaddy passed away.
I know.
Poor little Lurleen. She's such a sweet little thing. I hope she's doing okay. Are you going to the funeral? You must know her granddaddy pretty well. I mean, you grew up right across from the Harper place.
Yes, Ruby, I am going to the funeral.
Well, I hope the sale is some consolation to poor Lurleen.
What sale?
You didn't know? Right before he died, her grandfather sold his place for $500,000. Poor little Lurleen is going to be one very rich young lady.
I think I'll go and join Ricky in the kitchen.
Well, I guess I better get moving. Got some shopping to do. I always did look great in black.
Actually, I need the preliminary report on the Williams property. I'm doing their lawyer's office in 5 minutes.
Well, I put that on your desk. Here.
What do you have the TV for?
Take the file copy.
Thanks.
Oh, I was going to watch the special program on Iris later on.
All right, but you be careful, all right? I don't want you hanging around here while the staff is gone.
Justin, stop worrying. The security's good.
Fine.
Now, I'll meet you back here after the meeting with the lawyer.
Bye.
I'm sorry, lady. The Harper place is not for sale.
Now, I am willing to top whatever you were paid for.
It don't matter.
You stand to make a very handsome profit, Mr. Boone. Now, I'll just write out the check for the down payment, and we can discuss the rest of it later.
You on the level?
Yes. Who would you like the check made out to?
You mean that check could be good?
Oh, very. How much would you like as a down payment?
It's a pity, but I'm sorry. It ain't for sale.
Why not?
She's willing to give you a profit.
Now, look. Now, I've got some other nice ranch properties.
No, the Harper place is the only thing I'm interested in.
Now, look, lady. I can't sell that property because I don't own it. Apex Realty is just an intermediary. Now, if you're interested in buying it, you're going to have to deal with the man I bought it for.
Who is he?
Justin Marshall.
Mrs. Wheeler is seen here with her late husband, Alex, at the 1980 Lone Star Ball. Lone Star is an umbrella charity to which Mrs. Wheeler devoted a considerable amount of time and energy. Over 32 separate charities in Houston area benefit from the proceeds of this annual affair. It is believed that her work here will stand her in good stead when
Hello
Mrs.
there,
Wheeler
lady.
launches herself into the
Get out of here.
I ain't going nowhere till I get what I come for.
There's nothing in this office that concerns you.
That's where you're wrong. You got some papers belong to me, and I ain't gonna leave till I get them.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about those papers I put in Justin's file. Them plans for the slant drilling rig up to the Harper place.
I already told you, Bubba, I never saw those plans.
Yeah, well, you lied to me then, and you're lying to me now. Now, get them!
I don't know what you're talking about. But I tell you what.
All right, sunshine. You got 5 seconds to remember where you put them papers.
Billy Joe!
Ruby, is that you?
It's me.
Well, I didn't recognize you under all that mosquito gauze.
It's a veil.
I think it's chic.
Well, I think you're going to a funeral.
That's right. Didn't you hear that Lurleen Harper's granddaddy died?
Yeah, I read about it in the papers. Wait a minute. I also read that they found a whole lot of money on the old man.
$15,000.
So that's why you're all dressed in black.
What do you mean?
You know what I mean. You're still trying to get together the money to buy the coupe, aren't you?
You think I'm playing up to Lurleen to get it from her?
You bur.
Billy Joe, I'm going out to that ranch to pay that poor girl my respects.
Your respect? You don't even know Lurleen.
Well, I know her about as well as anybody does, considering how much she keeps to herself. Besides, I like her.
Oh, you like her?
Yeah. Whenever she comes into the coop, we have a great time. I really like her.
Yeah, you like her money. That's what you mean.
That is a terrible thing to say, Billy Joe. I think she's sweet.
Well, I still don't think that's enough reason for you to go to her granddad's funeral.
Oh, well, the funeral's probably over by now anyway. I thought it'd be best to leave that to the family and close friends.
That's very considerate of you, Ruby.
So now I'm going to go out to the ranch and pay that poor girl my respects.
You all right, honey? I'm fine. Such a lovely day. Thought it was going to rain, and that would have made it a lot sadder.
It's a nice fall day.
It's a beautiful spot where my granddaddy's buried. All those trees, and they keep the place up real nice.
Why don't we all have a cup of tea?
I think I'll go upstairs and change first.
And you need some help, Kate?
No, why don't you all just stay out here on the porch? Very nice this time of day.
Lurleen seems to be taking it all right.
Yeah, but I think Lurleen tends to keep things inside her, doesn't she, Jenny?
I think Lurleen's feeling pretty lonely right now.
I don't mean to pester you, honey. I know this is a difficult time for you.
I feel so alone now.
Of course you do. It's only natural. You know I love you as if you were my own.
Well, Miss Kate, I love you too.
I'm going to take care of you.
Now then, sunshine. You got 5 seconds to remember where you put those slant drilling papers.
All right. Put the knife down.
Okay, but don't try anything funny or you're going to be sorry.
I won't. I promise.
Remember, I'll be right behind you to make sure of that.
The papers are in the safe.
Go and get them.
Hey, what are you doing there? Get the keys. Can't open the safe without the keys.
All right. Go ahead.
It's all there. Every last detail.
Yeah, I can see that. I knew you had these papers all along.
Well, you got what you wanted. Why don't you get out?
Not so fast, you long-legged devil. I ain't finished with you yet.
What do you want? No! No!
Make some sandwiches for us after a while.
On top of everything else, I should think that Lurleen would be terribly upset over the fact that her grandfather sold the ranch out from under her.
Yeah, without even telling her he was going to plan to do it.
You know, Brett was trying to get some information about the company that bought the Harper place. How's she doing on that?
Thank you. She's got a name and an address. She and Rena are checking that out right now.
Well, is she going to call and tell us about it?
No, Kate. They're coming over here later, I think.
What I can't understand is why in the world old man Harper would sell the place without telling Lurleen.
He was a strange man.
Oh, that poor kid.
Oh, but don't worry about her. She'll be all right. For once in her life, she'll have some money.
That's particularly important to Lurleen.
It's important to everybody.
I just hope whoever bought that place doesn't start subdividing it or anything.
Well, that would be awful. It's such beautiful property.
Grant, is there any way that Apex Realty could renege on the deal?
No. No, Brett tells me that the deed of sale is already signed and notarized.
And there's nothing they can do.
No, not a thing.
At least her grandfather got a good price for the land. Lurleen can be grateful for that.
$500,000. Good price.
Well, Lurleen can sure make good use of that money.
It's about time something turned out right for Lurleen.
Well, hey, Billy Joe.
Hello?
Hey, Ruby.
What do you want to know?
Hey, Billy Joe. If you and I are going to be working together, don't you think that it's high time you got that chip off your shoulder?
We're not going to be working together, little buddy.
If I'm the assistant producer on your show, we are.
Well, any assistant producing you're going to do is just going to have to be done someplace else.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you see, once we start putting the show together, I'm going to have a little talk with Vicki Bellman.
Go ahead. Talk with Vicki Bellman all
I'm
you
going to have
want.
you fired, you moron. That's right. I'm not going to have too much difficulty in doing that either.
Because you're such a big shot now, huh?
It's my show. That's not the only reason. I happen to know just what type of woman Vicki Bellman is.
What's that mean?
Just that she's not going to take too kindly to the idea of having a blackmailer on her staff.
Blackmailer?
That's what I said.
Have you talked this over with Ruby yet?
My sister's got nothing to do with it. It's my show.
Then you haven't.
No, I haven't. But, I did tell her to start divorce proceedings against you as soon as possible.
Did you now?
Uh-huh. You see, now that Ricky's kicked her out, well, there's no reason to keep it a secret anymore. Now is there?
Boy, you think you got it all figured out, don't you?
That's right, pumpkin. Your little blackmail isn't going to work anymore. You can tell the world that Ruby's your wife for all I care.
Hey, Billy Joe. When you go see Vicki Bellman, you might show her this, too.
What?
It's a letter. And it just might change her mind about who's blackmailing who.
What do you want? You got what you came for. Why don't you leave me alone?
Not yet.
What could you possibly want now?
Same thing you want.
What?
Well, you were nice enough to give me them papers, and I just want to show you my gratitude.
What are you talking about? Stop it! Don't!
You ain't pregnant.
Justin's not
Man enough. Well, maybe I am. Come on, get over here. Come here, sunshine. Now let's see how high and mighty you are.
He'll be out for a good long while.
You love me.
No, I love you.
TJ wants power and money. That's what it's all about.
Justin Marshall's giving TJ more money.
I assume so. In addition to more power and more opportunities than he'd have at World Oil.
Justin Marshall might promise the moon, but can he deliver?
That's a risk TJ is taking.
I bet your daughter's not the only one who's upset about TJ.
You mean Stryker?
Yes. He's done so much for TJ.
I know. He's upset, but he knows that these things happen in business.
Still can't believe TJ did it.
Meredith, do you have something there to show me?
Oh, yes. It's some promotional material for the new Billy Joe Wright show.
Aha. Now here is something that my husband's really going to be upset about.
Why? It's going to be a great show.
It's not the show. It's the fact that the star of the show has signed a contract with Justin Marshall.
To be spokesperson for his chain of gas stations. I almost forgot about that.
I wish I could. Every time Billy Joe is on that air, he's going to remind me and everyone else that he's promoting Justin's gas stations.
World of big business.
Yeah. Stryker will see it that way, too, but he won't like it any more than I do.
You say he knows these things happen.
Uh-huh. But Billy Joe Wright, he is the last person in the world I'd suspect of pulling something like this. Oh, his sister Ruby's behind this. She's the one I have to watch.
I don't get it. Why are you showing me a letter here that was written to an Austin paper?
Did you recognize the handwriting?
Well, it looks like it could be Ruby's.
It is Ruby's.
So what? Dear editor, I'm writing this letter regarding the candidacy of Stryker Bellman for the state senate. So what's this got to do with anything? So it's a letter about Stryker Bellman. Even if it was written by my sister, who cares?
Let me finish reading it to you, Billy Joe.
Sure, go ahead, but I don't see the point.
Oh, you will. Regarding the candidacy of Mr. Stryker Bellman for the state senate, how can he possibly serve the public when he can't even control his own wife, Vicky? She's a drunkard. And
What?
Well, let me finish, Billy Joe.
Wait a minute, I heard enough.
There's much more.
Vicky Bellman's no drunk. That was a while ago.
And this letter put the skids under old Stryker Bellman. Because of this letter, he had to bow out of the state senate race.
Ruby sent that letter to the papers.
That's right. Under a phony name, of course, but she didn't mail this one out.
What do you mean?
Well, she had to go through about 4 or 5 drafts before she got her sad story straight.
Damn, it's Ruby's writing.
Well, there's no question about that. Here, let me have it.
Can't believe she did it.
Well, she did it all right. This is a part of her seedy past. And her past has caused Stryker Bellman and Vicky Bellman a lot of grief.
If they ever found out that she wrote that letter.
And now you're getting smart.
So that's what you got on Ruby.
Mm-hmm. If either of them ever get a wind that Ruby wrote this, well, I don't have to draw you a picture now, do I?
Why don't you write that stupid letter?
Why don't you go ask her?
I will.
And I have a suggestion for you, too, Billy Joe. You ought to treat your assistant producer a little more politely. That is, unless you want Vicky Bellman to find out that Ruby ruined her husband's political career.
I think I'll go sit on the back porch for a while.
Well, that's a good idea, honey. You know, I can't help but worry about her.
She'll be all right, Kate. She has a lot of friends who will look after her.
It was a lovely service.
I know. Arlene told us about it.
Wish you could have been here.
I intended to, but I was waylaid.
We've been very busy this afternoon.
Oh, did you find out anything about that realty company that bought the Harper place?
Where's Grant? I've got to talk to him.
Well, he's taking a business call in the study. What is it, Rena? You look nervous. Is something wrong?
Plenty.
Rita, did you find out about Apex Realty or not?
Oh, we found out something, all right. But I didn't want to say anything in front of Lurleen. She's been through enough.
Then something is wrong.
Apex Realty is just a front. They aren't the ones who really bought the Harper place.
Well, does that mean that Lurleen won't get the money that's coming to her?
Oh, Kate, she'll get it all right. From Justin Marshall.
Let me see the letter again.
Still not convinced it's Ruby's handwriting, huh?
Just let me see. It's Ruby's handwriting, all right. Nobody in the world has a scrawl like that. But if I kept this, you wouldn't have anything to back up your story, now would you?
Go ahead, keep it.
You let me.
I've got 4 of the drafts of that copy of that letter. So if you're thinking of tearing it up, you're wasting your time. You swore at me, Billy Joe. I didn't write that letter.
Hi, Billy Joe. What's the matter with him?
Beats me.
Well, what do you mean you don't know? You were just standing here talking to him.
The truth, I think he's having a little trouble with his sister.
Well, then why did he give you such a dirty look?
He's in a bad mood.
I suspect if Billy Joe's having trouble, it's got something to do with you, Bo.
Hey, come on. He wasn't that nice to you either. Here, let me have that.
What's that?
Nothing.
Is that what you two were arguing about?
Well, hold on a minute. Who says we were arguing?
Well, then tell me what it is.
This is nothing for you to worry your pretty little head about.
All right. I'll believe you.
Good. Say, you got time to set a while?
With the assistant producer of Billy Joe's show, I guess I do.
You heard about that, huh?
I sure did. Ricky told me. Is it really true?
Sure is.
Well, I think that's terrific.
Thank you. I feel pretty good about it myself.
It's going to be quite a challenge now, don't you think?
Yeah, it is. I've already got some ideas for the show, too.
And was it one of those ideas that made Billy Joe so upset just now?
You just don't quit now, do you?
I'm just curious.
Yes, you are. You're also pretty smart.
Well, then I was right.
Billy Joe can be pretty hard-headed sometimes. But I think I convinced him that I know what I'm doing.
Oh, I imagine you do. You know something, Bo? Maybe you and I should plan to get together one night after one of your shows. I'd like to know more about your ideas. Lurleen?
Hello, Ruby.
No. I just wanted to tell you how sorry I was to hear about your grandfather. I know how sad you must be right now.
You heard about it?
Mm-hmm. It was in the paper. I wanted to come to the funeral, but I didn't want to intrude. I know that's a time for family and for close friends.
You would have been welcome.
I'd like you to think that I'm your friend, Lurleen.
Oh?
Were you very close to your granddaddy?
He was all I had left since my parents died.
No brothers and sisters?
Oh, well, I have a brother. But he left home a couple of years ago. I don't know where he is. He and my granddaddy didn't get along.
Well, if you don't know where he is, how are you going to get his inheritance to him?
Inheritance?
Oh, there was something in the paper about that, too.
Well, I guess I can't get it to him, at least not till he comes back.
Which could be never.
I never thought about that.
Do you have somebody to advise you, Lurleen?
Advise me?
Mm-hmm. About the money you're getting from your inheritance. You should invest it.
I never thought about that either.
I understand. You're still just thinking about your granddaddy, aren't you?
Are you all right?
Yeah. I'm just remembering what it was like when my own grandfather passed away. He was the most wonderful man in the world, Lurleen. I loved him so much.
When did he pass away?
When I was a little girl. But I'd already lost both my parents, so I know what you're going through.
You were so young then. It must have been so much harder on you.
He was so good to me, Lurleen. He left me a little money, a very small sum. But all I could think about was how much I was going to miss him, how much I wanted him to come back.
I know how you felt.
He was so wise, too. I remember his dying words to me. He said, "Ruby,
Now, I've left you this money, but I want you to be very, very careful. Because there are certain unscrupulous people in this world.
Lurleen, I brought you out a sweater. It's getting kind of chilly.
Thank you, Miss Kate. I'd like you to meet a friend of mine, Ruby Ride.
Sure wish Grant would get off that phone.
Rena, why don't you just sit down and relax until he does?
How can I relax knowing that Justin is up to something again?
I wonder what it is. From what you've told me about him, he's really something.
He's a louse, and I'm going to talk to your daddy about Justin.
When did you finally realize that Justin was using Apex Realty for a front?
I should have known the moment I laid eyes on that guy that runs the place.
Why, what was he like?
Oh, he was shifty-eyed and shady-looking, a very disreputable-looking character, right, Brett?
He looked like a small-time crook.
Just the sort of fellow you'd expect Justin to associate himself with.
That guy was right out of the funny papers. And not very bright.
Why do you say that?
Well, because it was so easy to worm it out of him who he bought the Harper place for.
Well, maybe he thought there was nothing to hide.
If there was nothing to hide, Justin Marshall would have bought the property outright.
Justin knows as well as we do that there's no oil on that property, right? So why does he want it?
That's what I want to know.
Well, he must have had some good reason for buying the property.
Yeah, well, I got an idea about that.
What?
Well, it seems to me that the best explanation would be that Justin didn't want anyone to know he had slant drilled that property.
I didn't know anything about that.
Well, that could be the reason. You don't look convinced, Rena.
I'm not. Darn, I wish Grant would get off the phone so I could talk to him. I think I want to hurry him up a little.
She's a little impatient, isn't she?
Rena and I did a pretty good job of tracking it all down, didn't we?
Well, you did a great job.
Imagine two women doing that.
Yeah, imagine that. I just wonder why you didn't let me in on all of this when you saw me earlier today. I mean, you did know what the setup was then, didn't you?
Yes, but I didn't think it was any of your business, Decker. Besides, I was in a hurry.
Why don't you like me?
Actually, Miss Kate and I have already met. I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. It was at the barn dance, remember? How nice to see you again. I've heard a lot about you.
Oh? What have you heard?
All kinds of wonderful things. Oh, it sure is beautiful out here. I love the wide open spaces. And the air is superb.
Is that what brought you out here? The air?
No, I came to pay my condolences to Lurleen. Ruby's granddaddy died when she was a little girl. She was very close to him. I understand how Lurleen feels now, so I know it's important to have good friends around.
Oh, and you and Lurleen are good friends.
We know each other from the coop.
I see.
Ruby, there's tea and sandwiches inside if you'd like a bite to eat. Oh, I don't think so. I think I'd better go back to the coop. You have to go this minute? Yeah, I think I should. But you didn't finish telling me your story about your granddaddy. It was about his last words to Ruby. Well, I think you've had enough sadness for one day. I'll tell you some other time. Thank you for coming. You make sure you come visit me at the coop now, okay? I will, Ruby. Goodbye. Bye. Goodbye, Miss Kate. Awful nice seeing you again.
Goodbye.
We're glad to have him back in custody.
Well, you are. Well, I hope you can hang on to him this time.
He'll be under tight security, Mr. Marshall. I can guarantee you that.
Thank you, officer.
Yeah, thank you.
Someone will be in touch with you, Mrs. Marshall, about coming in to file a complaint.
Listen, will that be necessary?
That's okay. Thank you, officer. Thank you again. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
You sure you're all right?
I'm fine.
I got here in the nick of time.
I thought you had gone to a meeting.
I came back here to get a folder. I'm lucky I forgot it.
Thank goodness you are forgetful sometimes.
I can't understand what Bubba was doing here.
Well, it's obvious, isn't it?
The risk that he took, it just doesn't make any sense.
He's crazy. He's always been crazy.
Yeah, he did look at you that way, didn't he?
Yeah.
If you hadn't stopped me, Ashley, I would have killed that
I
louse.
know. Don't talk about it. I know.
Golly. He didn't...
No. No. You got here in time.
I think you and I have to go home. Come on.
Justin, I forgot something. Don't forget your suitcase, sweetheart.
I don't dislike you, Ricky. Where'd you get that idea?
Are you kidding?
Is it because I don't fall all over you?
Hey, I don't expect every girl I meet to be crazy about me.
What's your batting average?
I do all right.
Good.
You think I'm stuck on myself, don't you? Is that why you call me Decker?
I'm not mocking you.
Oh, you could have fooled me.
Sorry.
I'm gonna have to come up with a name for you myself.
Be my guest. I have a sense of humor.
And you don't think I do?
Oh, I'm sure you do.
I have a first name, too.
Your parents were thoughtful.
When I come up with that name, I'm gonna let you know.
Shall I hold my breath?
No, I don't think you better do that. Well, I think I better get back to town.
I have a feeling that Rena would like me to stick around. And I'll tell you what. If she doesn't need me, I'll let you drive me back. Would that be all right with you?
Oh. Sure.
Good.
Suppose Ricky is right.
You mean about why Justin bought the ring?
Mm-hmm.
No. It's too pat.
Yes, it's too pat.
We know there's no oil on that property.
Do we?
Well, the survey showed it.
Oh, surveys can be wrong. You know that as well as I do.
Yes.
So it is possible that Justin could have had another survey done that showed that there was oil.
All right. Let's assume that there is oil. There's nothing we can do about it.
We're just going to let him get away with it?
Rena, even if there is oil on the property, even if we don't like the way Justin acquired the property, he is the legal owner. There's nothing we can do about it.
Oh.
Elena, maybe we could get together tomorrow night.
Maybe. I think it's important that we get to know each other both.
I'd like that. Ladies?
What was that all about?
What?
You know what?
You mean Bo and me? Well, we were just talking about getting together sometime.
I don't think that's such a hot idea.
Why not?
It isn't.
All right then, Ruby. Why don't you tell me what you and Bo are hiding?
We're not hiding anything. What a silly thing to say.
All right, have it your way. I'll find out sooner or later. Where's Billy Joe? He's in the office. I wouldn't bother him if I were you. Why not? He's in a lousy mood. How come? He had some sort of fight with Bo. About what? Something about a letter. A letter? Yes, you know anything about it? I was going to ask you. Well, I don't know what was in the letter, but it must have been pretty interesting to set Billy Joe off that way, you know? Yeah. You're sure going to have your hands full when Bo starts working on that show with Billy Joe.
You know, Lena, I've been thinking. Why don't you and I stop this petty bickering?
Petty?
It's all in the past now.
You turned Joe into Pete Parnell and Jim Lawrence. You expect me to forget about that, Ruby? That happened in the past, Elena. They could have killed him.
But they didn't. That's the important thing. And now, especially with Ricky having his own show and everything, I just think you and I should put all that behind us.
Now, what does my brother have to do with this?
Well, I'd like you to appear on Ricky's show. In fact, I've been thinking. I would really like to manage your career just like I do Ricky's and Billy Joe's.
You would like to be my manager?
I think I could make you even a bigger star than you were before. And I'd love to pair you up with Ricky for a brother-sister act.
You're really scared, aren't you, Ruby? And it's just a matter of time till I find out. Yes, sirree. It's just a matter of time until I find out what Bo has on you.
I guess we got everything.
Looks like it.
That was so nice of you to have tea and sandwiches, Miss Kate. Thank you.
Well, thank you for helping us to clean up. I think everything went very well.
Yes, it did. Where's Jenny?
Oh, she went over to Wanda and Buddy's to get Steve. She must still be there.
She was such a comfort to me today. Of course, everybody was so nice. I don't know how to thank you.
Oh, no, you don't have to thank us, Lurleen. We're happy to do what we can for you.
You know, I thought it was especially nice of Ruby to drive all the way from Houston to offer her condolences. You don't like Ruby, do you?
Well, I don't really know her, Lurleen.
You don't think she's a nice person?
I just don't like to make judgments about people. But you watch yourself with her.
Why?
Well, I just don't think she's the kind of person you should have for a friend.
She's Ricky's manager.
I know that. And I know she lived with Ricky for a while.
A lot of couples live together before getting married these days.
I'm aware of that. But it takes a different kind of woman to run a saloon.
Well, the Coop's not a saloon. It's kind of a country and western nightclub.
I know exactly what the Coop is. The ranch hands have been going there for years.
I still think it was really sweet of Ruby to come see me.
You busy?
I guess you are.
Well, I'll just stay a minute.
I just wanted you to know that my instincts were right. Lurleen really appreciated my coming over to see her at the ranch. What's wrong with you? You still mad at me for that?
Bo showed me the letter you wrote.
What letter?
The one you wrote to the newspaper about Stryker Bellman. Aren't you going to deny it?
I can't deny the truth, Billy Joe.
Why not? That's what you usually do when you do something wrong.
Why did Bo have to go show you that letter?
The question is, Ruby, is why did you write it?
Because I was angry.
Angry?
Yeah.
I can't imagine you ever being angry enough to do something like that, Ruby. You sent a letter to the newspaper and you ruins a man's chances for a political career.
I know what I did, Billy Joe.
Well, aren't you going to tell me why you did it? Now, what did you ever have against Stryker Bellman?
Nothing. It was his wife I wanted to hurt back then, Billy Joe. And writing that letter was the only way I could think of.
And what did you have against Vicky Bellman?
Lenny.
Ruby, what did she ever do to you?
She didn't even know I was alive back then.
Is that all?
No. I was down on my luck, Billy Joe. I was just starting out managing country western singers. I tried to get my singers on her program in Nashville. She wouldn't talk to me, Billy Joe. She wouldn't give me the time of day.
Ruby, did it ever occur to you that maybe your singers were no good?
Her assistant told me that she wouldn't deal with a nobody. He made fun of me, Billy Joe. He told me my singers were all a bunch of no talents. All I wanted was one chance, and she wouldn't give it to me. When you're poor, and you're angry, down on your luck, sometimes you get bitter. And you do nasty things to get even.
What you did, Ruby, was wrong.
I know that now, Billy Joe. But I was angry. I was poor. I was desperate. I was trying to get even with somebody who didn't even know that I existed. I'm so sorry I wrote that letter now. I'm so damn sorry.
Ruby, don't you see? Sorry's not enough now.
I know that, Billy Joe. When I did it, I couldn't help myself, but I know it was wrong.
It's just going to happen once. Do you have any idea what could happen once Vicky Bellman ever found out what you did? Huh?
I know. I'll never work in TV again. Not in Nashville. Not here. Nowhere.
That's right. You'd be lucky if you got a job of any kind once Vicky Bellman got through with you.
We can't let her find out that I wrote the letter, Billy Joe. We can't.
We better not count on that, darling. Not as long as Bo Baker's around. There's no telling what that jerk might do.
Hello, Rena.
Hi. I'll take care of these now, Vicky.
All right, Meredith. Well, how was the funeral, dear?
I missed it.
Oh? Bill, how is Lurleen?
She's bearing up. Justin Marshall bought her grandfather's ranch.
I thought some realty firm bought that.
No, that was just a front that Justin was using.
Why would he want that land? There's no oil on it.
We don't know what he's up to, Mama. Except one thing is clear. That man never gives up. He's made life miserable for Kate and everyone else out there. And he's responsible for Max's death. And now this. I mean, who knows what he's going to do next?
What does Grant say?
He says that there's nothing we can do about it. Justin is now the legal owner of the Harper place.
You'll have to accept it.
How can I accept that? Max died for that land.
Honey, the situation has changed. Kate sold the mineral rights on her ranch to World Oil. And don't forget, you're in the oil business yourself.
I don't care about any of that. Justin is up to something, and I'm going to find out what it is.
Oh, I didn't mean to startle you.
I ought to kill you.
Ooh, I guess you must have talked to Billy Joe.
You guessed right. Why did you tell him about that letter, Bo?
Because I wanted to get him off my back. succeeded, didn't
At my expense. You really did a number on me.
I? Not as big a number as I could have done, Pumpkin. I could have showed that letter to Vicky Bellman or a couple of other people around town. But as things stand, just the family knows about it. You, your brother, and me, your ever-loving husband.
I'm through with you, Bo. I want you out of my life.
Oh, that's right. Billy Joe did say something about suggesting you get a divorce.
He's right. I'm gonna do it.
Go ahead. If you want your face plastered all over the front of the Houston Gazette. Or do you think that it's going to be hard for me to prove that you sent that letter about Stryker Bellman?
Get out of my sight.
Well, as a matter of fact, I am a little thirsty right now, and I think I'll go get me a beer. Would you like to join me? See you, Pumpkin.
Bo, you are never gonna get away with this.
I already have.
We'll see about that.